us out of this waterfall pit. So rip. Okay, let's see.
I regret nothing.
Oh man, Ivaris isn't here to give the. Ivaris and Bungo are here. Yes, to give the recap. So who's gonna do it? Who's gonna do it? It's not time yet. We gotta wait for the stream to start up. But once
I can do it.
All right, Sizzler, gracias. Is it working for anyone else?
I honestly didn't check.
I keep refreshing it just to make sure that the intro is done. But I'm not seeing it.
The intro is over.
Oh, it is? Okay.
So I heard.
It's working for me.
Oh, okay, cool. As long as it's working for someone, that's fine. I just keep seeing like Curse of Strahd. Oh, there you go. Perfect. Yeah, it's working. Okay, great. Thanks, Casey. Okay, so yeah, when we last left off, Sizzler, do you want to give the recap for last week, please?
Yes. So our group exited room number 3 after vanquishing a slime at the start of the last week's session, and the group was split on what to do next once we entered the pillar forest. And against the better judgment of, say 4 or 5 members, we split up into 2 parties. The northern party was exploring several rooms and discovered to their horror that there were a lot of one-way windows, if you will. So someone or some things might have been spying on us as we entered this dungeon here. They progressed a little bit further, found some more one-way windows, and triggered a plate trap, which made a clanging.
Just to be clear, it was not a trap. It was literally just a pile of dirty plates.
We found their dishes.
So they triggered a plate trap.
It wasn't a trap.
Which made quite the bustle.
It's a plate trap in the same sense that my kitchen sink is a plate trap.
It is a plate trap.
That's a lesser plate trap.
Who puts plates like
This is a
that in front
greater
of the door,
plate trap.
though? How is that not a trap?
True, that's true. So that caused a commotion, which had a consequence of Lina bursting into a door, and a room full of vampires had attacks at the ready, and she did her best pincushion routine and barely survived with 1 HP. And the northern group fled that area. And kind of just hung around a little bit. Didn't bother to heal Lina. They just waited an amount of time. The southern group went to an area that had a tight tunnel, which excluded Roberto from joining the rest of the group. So he just kind of stuck around in a corridor all by his lonesome while the group progressed further. They found a mysterious set of pillars that had some ancient magical properties that were previously powerful, but somehow less so now. And different members of the party walked through it with different results. Some people got to turn invisible. Some people almost died. Guilty about that. The group continued, and I should say that they were following some bugbears as they were going through this tunnel network. So that was their reasoning for going through these different tunnels. The hallway where all the icons are piled up here now, and was an awkward exchange of talking between a certain member of the party who may or may not be a warlock end boss and some goblins. He just said hello, and the goblins were then fooled by. The goblins were fooled by a spell cast by Bungo, and they were playing with a marionette and were terrified of it as it spoke of revenge to them. and they splintered off into many different directions and initiated a combat with the group. Also brought in the bugbears, who were conveniently in the room next door, and much battle ensued. While that was going on, the northern group headed through room 21, and several mirror images of Ulfgar appeared, inferior to Ulfgar himself, of course, and they were vanquished easily. And the rest of the group joined the southern group, and together vanquished the rest of the goblins and bugbears. I believe that's where we left it.
That was a beautiful story.
I don't believe any of it.
Neither does our DM, apparently.
Hmm.
I think that means we get a level up. I think that's what he's.
I'll take
Now,
that.
we had discussed earlier that I would be getting Bungo's level.
Oh, goodness. Poor
I
Bungo.
feel like Lina should get Ivaris' level.
I think that's fair.
And then I guess Drip's level can be up for.
All right, that's an interesting, very interesting. I'll consider that as we move forward. But I think where we left off specifically as well was that combat had just ended, and Ulfgar was holding Alden in an embrace.
Yeah.
Between the heads, sort of like head and like upper torso area of two goblins who had been like cut in half, basically. And so there was just blood and guts all over the two of them as they hugged through the battle. Is that correct?
Really beautiful moment. Beauty and the beauty.
With blood bonding.
Yeah, the blood bonding. And so it's just Ulfgar with this glowing. What is it? Was it a blue sword? What was the color?
Oh, yeah, it was a glowing blue.
Yeah, because he wanted to be like Sting.
Blue. Okay. So it was like a blue glowing longsword that he's holding in one hand, and he's like squeezing these two goblin heads and Alden in between it, and there's just again blood and guts everywhere. The goblins are clearly dead. I mean, they're just like the top halves of them you're holding, and that's sort of where we pick up. So, what would everyone like to do?
Let's see here.
What's
Is this
left?
area up here? Is this somewhere we haven't been?
If you can't see it, you haven't been there.
That
Okay.
is 80% of it.
So, anybody need some healing? I've got infinite healing draughts if anybody's interested.
I'm good.
That sounds a little broken.
Infinite.
Just pull it out of this here satchel. Anybody?
The
That
silence.
sounds legit.
The silence is deafening.
And, I'll look over at Lina because she looks pretty rough.
Sure. Please.
You get a healing draught.
Thank you.
All right. You can also have Sizzler. You can also have, since we're out of combat, you can also have Roberto join.
Woo!
I thought he couldn't fit.
The other direction is how he couldn't fit. He can go through the hallway.
He couldn't go through the tunnel.
Shattered glass hallway.
Yeah, just watch out for the shattered glass on his little toad toes.
It's fine. I got boots.
I'm not talking about you, Alden. The toad doesn't have boots.
So is this another room?
Isn't the toad's legs made of metal?
Yeah, they are. Okay, yeah, so room 23. So,
A, B,
Um,
C.
23B. You've already 23A. I can give you a description of 23A again if you'd like. Drip had investigated or discovered it last time. But room 23A was the area inside of which the goblins were using the skeleton as a marionette. So the goblins turned a human skeleton into a marionette and dangled it from ropes attached to the ceiling so that they could make it dance around the room. And they were chanting Nimrath, Nimrath, Nimrath as they were as it was bobbing around. Drip had investigated the room sort of during the battle, and she found 2 halves of a cloven wooden shield that were in the room's northwest corner. Each half of the shield has letters etched into it. One half reads Nimr, and the other reads Ath.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Nim or Odd.
Yeah, Nimrod. So that was what she investigated in 23A. You guys had not sort of made it into 23B or investigated 23B. That's where the bugbears came from. So if you want to check that area for, I don't know, whatever you would want to check that area for, you could certainly go ahead and do that. Although 23C was the area that Bungo, who was it? I think Bungo and Ivaris and Alden, were you there as well? Where
I was
they were
hiding behind.
Okay, so Bungo and Ivaris had investigated prior, and it was the room with the 9 goblins that were sleeping on the floor that they took the weapons from, and I think they gave them to Sizzler.
I believe so, yeah.
I believe so.
I have a bag full of shields.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Yep. So you have shields and some other crappier weapons. So yeah. So when the goblins, that's where the goblins all just leapt onto the closest target at that time, which was Ulfgar, and Ulfgar just fell in love with being hugged, quote unquote hugged by a bunch of goblins who were punching him and trying to stab him and whatnot.
I also hugged him.
We just sat down and
it was a regular old love fest.
hug circle.
Except for all the death.
It happened around us, but we didn't know.
Okay. As you're coated in the blood, yeah, as you're just coated head to toe in blood and goblin guts, and you're holding the severed bodies of 2 goblins. You're like, I didn't even know. Who could have known? All right, so what do you guys want to do?
I would like to investigate the corpses of the bugbears.
Sure.
I want to see if there's anything
Oh, you did
cool
roll an
in
investigation.
23.
That is a great investigation. You want to? Sorry, what were you saying, Alden?
Sorry, I want to see if there's anything cool in 23B.
Okay, so I'll describe 23B. Roll investigation, Alden, and anyone else who wants to look through 23B.
Oof. I ain't gonna know much about this room.
No, it looks like just another dirty room to you.
Guys, this room got walls.
I forgot to switch my thing.
No, you can't even tell if it has walls or not. Yeah, switch your thing to Elfgar, please.
Might be.
Guys, this room may or may not have walls.
You're not sure. Okay. What? All right. So the Lina and Sizzler. This is what you see. So there's the remains of a shattered statue lies in the middle of the rooms. It seems like the bugbears were trying to reassemble it. There are Sizzler, particularly, you note that there are 17 fist-sized chunks of black stone that make up the statue, and you can tell that the statue depicted 3 male human warriors standing together on a stone mound, facing outward and clutching swords.
I can tell that from the chunks?
Yeah.
Okay. And the bugbear corpses?
Sure. So the bugbears don't have very much, but they did have a little bit of gold. If you roll a 1d6, 1d12 for me, I'll tell you what specifically you got?
Nice.
Wow. Okay, so you find 10 copper pieces between the two.
Killer. I don't think I'm
You
gonna
put
even
10
add that.
you put 10 gold back in the pocket of the bugbear.
All right. Hey guys. It looks like these bugbears are trying to put this statue together. Maybe it triggers a door or something. I can't think of a good reason why they would try to put a statue back together other than to open something. Or maybe they're big fans of artwork. But does anyone have anything? Maybe prestidigitation could try to hold these in place, and maybe we could try that.
Prestidigitation, do that.
I have a sword and a shovel.
Your sword glows blue in the night.
Now we're all dead.
No, you're not dead.
Oh, does it continuously glow blue?
Yeah.
Okay.
It never stops glowing blue.
Vape sword.
Vape sword. Have you tried to like put it away in like a sheath or something to see if it doesn't?
I'm naked still.
I mean, have you tried to put it in something to try to see if it glows through? I can't recall.
No.
I'm gonna say that's a no.
All right.
I can probably stick it somewhere, but it hurt a lot.
What?
What about the cleric version?
Let's see. Let me look at these two spells.
I'm just trying to see if that can help put the stuff back together, but it looks like it can't. Mine is like a useless prestidigitation, like a much less useful one.
Oh, would mending work?
Maybe. Click your mending thing. Let's see. I don't think either of the other two would put it together. Yeah, the breaker. I mean, it's much bigger than a 1-foot statue. The
Do it 17 times.
Yeah, seriously. Roll. Okay. Let's see. Let me look at the character sheet.
Yeah, how big are the chunks? I feel like if you did it to the chunks, it would work. I mean, it would take like 17 plus minutes to do, but it could be worth.
Hold on a sec. Let me look up. Let's see. Let's get a roll to see what would happen here. I don't know. I could probably get like a survival or a nature would work. Some kind of wisdom or intelligence check. Propose one to me. Someone who wants to try to put the statue together, and then we'll see sort of what the deal is with putting it back together.
What if I used my Tinker's tools, which I've used before to craft inventions? Maybe that's also useful to.
Okay, sure. All right, I could.
Insight?
Plus,
Okay,
if you used mending, if the point was to try to make a magical effect happen, it wouldn't make the magical effect happen.
Okay, I like the Tinker's tools, and you could use that sort of in conjunction with mending. Roll a 1d12 with advantage. And if you want to roll insight, Lina, you can.
Wiz, you're breaking up really badly.
Am I really?
Yeah.
He's not for me.
Really? It's
It
like
is
super
you
in and
who.
out.
Well, I mean, your voice is fine, but I guess he's just lagging for you. I don't know. Are the rest of us breaking up, or just him?
I'm not hearing anyone break up.
Yeah, you're all breaking up. Let me reboot real quick.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Sure. Does anyone else want to roll insight on the statue?
Roll
I can roll it, but
insight.
it's not going to do nothing.
Incoming nat 20.
I can't roll for shit on this program.
Sizzle, you can do it. You can do it too. Oh God, off guard. You don't. Yeah, you're not. You don't
I'm
see
not a
it.
very smart cookie.
Look, we've always been an accuracy by volume group, minus Trip, who always rolls fantastic. We're having such a rough time.
Yeah, seriously. Let's see. All right. So Alden, I'll stretch it a bit for you.
Nice.
You notice that the statue would probably take like a considerable amount of time. Like what you could tell sort of a little bit about the progress that the bugbears are making based on like what was stacked up and like how they were trying to mend it. That it would take them a considerable amount of time to put it together.
It would take them, or it would also take us.
Well, it would take you. It would take them a considerable amount of time, and so by
because they're so stupid.
Yeah, there's that, and so by you can sort of assume that it's going to, almost regardless of what you guys are going to do, it's going to be a little rough for you guys to put together too. So with your Tinker's Tools roll, though, Sizzler, you imagine that you could probably put it together, but it would take about 4 hours of continuous work.
He went away for a little bit.
Oh yeah, he did.
All right. Well, I'll let him mull over that. I want to look at this. I'm guessing this is
Sure. You want to open the door?
Can I just check it to see if there's no nonsense going on?
Sure. Roll investigation.
Hey,
A
there's a good roll.
A wild, not trap of plates appears. No, I'm just kidding. You you swing the door open and it's just a hallway.
How anticlimactic.
Indeed.
So
Sizzler, are you back? No.
It seems like longer than 60 seconds.
I agree. I agree, but I was also 5 minutes late, so I really can't talk trash tonight.
It's fine. You're the DM, so
Can't go on without
your
you.
role is law. So
We should.
Are these guys still with us, or did they just disappear and it's just
Who?
like all like Bungo and
All right, so
Ivaris?
typically how we're gonna handle it. Oh, okay, Sizzler's back.
I don't know how you handle it.
Sure. So I can sort of just announce. So typically, for people who weren't involved in the last group, typically how we handle it, or how I'm going to handle it, is that people just sort of like can drop in and drop out. They're sort of like they're with you, but they're not. They're with you in spirit. Like you can't use them. You don't have to worry about their interactions or anything like that. They're just sort of like there, but
Bungo do a little string and drag his ass around.
Yeah, there, but not there. You don't have to worry about, you don't have to worry about tying them to strings, and you don't have to worry about them interacting at all. You don't have to worry about them attacking or being attacked or anything like that.
No, can't take advantage of their skill checks.
Yeah, no, you cannot, unfortunately. Okay, Sizzler. So what we determined, what Alden determined, was that it was going to take. The bugbears were working on this for like some time, and that it was going to take them a considerable amount of time to finish their project based on like what progress they had made so far in mending the statue. And so with your Tinker's Tools, you rolled really well, and so you think that you can probably put the whole statue together with your Tinker's Tools and maybe a few mending spells here or there, but it would take you approximately 4 hours.
Okay. I could probably do this in about 4 hours. What do we think?
Oh, yeah. And then Alden investigated the door to the north. That was the only unexplored area that you guys had in the 23 section, and it was just a hallway that led to the long hallway that connected 21 and the 24, 23 area.
I used up my good roll for the night for that.
He did. It was a great investigation roll, and he found that it was just a hallway.
Crushed it. Oh.
Well, why don't we take a rest, and then while we're resting, we can put the statue together.
We have been through a lot.
Yeah, if we do a long rest, I can half of it I can repair this statue, and the other half I can get a rest too. Shift.
Yeah, that's fine.
I can only
I'll
sleep
take-
every hour, so.
I will
Guard
take
is.
hold on, actually. What do I get off of a short rest? Do I get any spell slots for that?
I don't think so.
Let's see.
I mean, we could just take a long rest until everyone gets what they need, and then we'll move on.
There's
Yeah,
a
but
little
then I
troop
wouldn't be able
waiting up there.
to do a guard.
Well, Ulfgar has to get up pretty frequently, and
I can only sleep, like, I sleep for an hour and then I'm up for an hour of sleep.
Oh, well, I guess you and Sizzler can take turns. To
yeah,
wake
and
that
Sizzler
up.
is going to be working for a portion of that, and then even when he's not, even when he is resting, he's on like this weird sentry mode thing, so it's okay. And you also have Roberto as well, who
True.
hasn't been in any combat whatsoever, so probably doesn't need to rest.
No.
He can just have his big toad eyes peeled constantly.
Like Hypnotoad.
Exactly. All hail Roberto. Okay, so just do this for me. Someone roll since Roberto's going to keep watch the whole time, and there's going to be other various shifts. Someone roll a 1d20 for me with advantage. So just someone roll 1d20 or roll it twice or with advantage, whichever you figure out.
I don't know how to roll those with advantage. Holy mother alive, Alden.
Okay. Oh my God, Alden, look at you go.
No, that's I rolled a 20. Never mind, I did that.
What the heck did you do?
I rolled
Rolling
20.
20. Okay, someone roll one more d20 for me, please.
There's the Alden we all know.
Yeah.
How do you
Okay. All right.
roll an advantage?
You can type it in, but it's okay. So you had that's fine. So yeah, then sort of your long rest passes without any issue. But before everyone's awake, Sizzler, for those of individuals who are sleeping, then Ulfgar might be awake as well. But you put the statue together, and it is indeed a statue of 3 male human warriors standing together on a stone mound, facing outward and clutching swords.
Oh. Did anything happen?
So miraculous.
Roll a perception check. Ulfgar, you can roll perception as well.
Okay. I actually have a decent one.
You do not notice anything specific happening. Sizzler, you notice Ulfgar admiring your good work.
Bravo. Bravo.
Ulfgar, you're too distracted by your glorious blue sword, which you still have yet to put down.
Dude, me and that sword are gonna just wherever he goes, I go.
You slept with it in your hand.
You know, I was consumed with the recreation of the statue, but now that I've finally finished, and I feel a little bit let down that it's just a statue, I finally noticed Ulfgar's blue sword. I'm like, holy crap, that's so shiny! Where did you get that?
I found it in somewhere.
The dumpster.
Why is it glowing blue?
It's the vape sword.
Does it do anything?
We have yet to find out. It glows blue when there's enemies around.
No, it glows blue all the time.
It glows blue.
Well,
all the
so you're
time.
not sure if it's because there are enemies around or what, but it has not stopped glowing this like bright light blue color.
Would you like me to check and see what it is?
As long as you give it back.
Oh, sure.
Wink.
Okay, I'll let him figure out what it is.
Okay, so describe to me how this happens, please. Are you trying to hand it? Are you trying to hand it to? Sure. Are you trying to hand it to Sizzler? I mean, how does the transaction happen? Are you trying to hand it to Sizzler, like and you're letting go of it? Are you just holding it out to him and letting him touch it? Or are you just keeping it in your hand and he's casting? Like, how is this all working?
I'm just gonna hold it out for him to look at.
Okay, so you're keeping it in your hand.
Yes, I don't
Okay.
want it to leave me.
Okay.
I do have to touch it though.
You can touch it.
Okay, that sounded sexy. Uh,
Yes.
okay, Sizzler, you have not come across a spell or a magic item quite like this before. You notice that it wasn't created by a spell, but it is definitely magical. You notice that the blue light emanating from the sword was initially established via a curse.
So would I learn what that curse is? If any spells are affecting the item and what they are.
Sure. You can't quite tell what the curse is, but you can tell that it is active.
So I didn't learn what they are. Isn't that what the spell's supposed to do? I'm supposed to learn A, if there are any spells affecting it, and then B, what they are.
It's not a spell. There's
The item
no
was created
yeah,
by a spell.
there's no specific spell that has been cast on the item, and it wasn't created by a spell, if that makes sense. Like I can't name the spell that is cast on it. There's not even any spell that specifically has this effect, if that makes sense. So I can't.
So it's like a custom curse, so to speak.
Yeah, well, it's like a curse.
It's in a cauldron and it came
Right,
out
it's
to
a
me.
curse that does a certain thing that has like a triggered effect, if that makes sense. But there's nothing that I can even equate it to in terms of like a spell, if that makes sense. It wasn't created by a spell. It's just an item that was created through the power of a curse. And it's you could tell that it's a cursed item, and that Ulfgar is enthralled by said curse.
See.
It's glowing blue, Sizzler.
Oh, that the curse is probably not a good thing.
What a wonderful night for a curse.
Well, your sword, I don't know how to tell you this, Ulfgar. I think it's cursed.
But it glows blue.
He just wants it for himself.
Perhaps it is a blue curse.
Precious vape.
He wants to be the one who vapes.
I do not care if it is cursed. I'm keeping this blue shiny sword.
Well, what can you? Are you feeling any different?
I feel it's very blue and shiny.
You feel it's very blue and shiny? Are you telling me that you're blue on the inside?
Yes, very blue.
Man hugs to cure you of your inner blues?
Yes. Please hug me.
Well, not as long as you're holding that sword. Have you tried just putting it down on the ground?
No, then someone else can take it.
I think we can all here agree, right, everyone, that none of us wants your cursed sword.
Am I still sleeping?
No, I think at this point you guys have woken up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Personally, Ulfgar, I think your sword looks great.
Goodness.
I don't need a sword. I'm not a punk.
At least Lina has some sense here. Swords are for punks.
I will try to put it on the ground for a second.
Okay, Ulfgar, when you try to let go of the sword, you notice that it will not lose connection with your hand. Like, you open your hand, so like your palm is facing down, right? Letting go of the sword and letting it drop to the ground, and it just doesn't it doesn't leave your hand.
Well, that's a neat trick. Are you a magician?
I don't know.
Are you gonna try to put it down or not?
I'm trying. It won't let go. It's
dear.
grabbing my hand.
So you put it against the ground, you put your foot on it, and you try to pry your hand off, and it just won't. It will not leave your hand.
Ulfgar, how are you gonna go to the bathroom?
I don't know. I've tried. It's weird. I'll use my other hand.
But then how will you wipe?
Help! It won't leave me alone now.
Be careful what you wish for.
Well, this seems great. Maybe I have any maybe a history check or something to see if I know anything about hand.
Sure.
Or arcana or something.
Sure.
Ooh.
Oh, that's pretty good. Okay. You don't know. We'll say this. You don't know much about hand-locked curses, but with your identify spell and your really good arcana roll, it's safe to say that you have come across. You've done enough research, right, into sort of the arcane arts that you can sort of figure out with that plus your identify spell that you think that is the curse. If that makes sense. That there isn't necessarily some other underlying nasty thing that may arise. That is indeed the curse, that he holds the sword forever.
Oh. And I don't know anything about any of these types of things being undone.
No, I mean, you know that curses generally can be undone. Yeah, you know that curses can generally be undone, but typically you also know that when a curse is undone on an item, whether the item continues to exist in the world or not at that point, is it's unclear, right? Some items just literally disintegrate when curses are removed from them. Some just become the basic version of that item, but it's sort of hit or miss.
But I like the sword.
I don't know how comfortable you are with holding that forever, but as we explore here, maybe we can try to find a way to cure it, get rid of that curse. But otherwise, I hope you like that sword.
It glows blue.
Vape Nash. Also, Ulfgar, after your long rest, you I forgot to mention this, but all the strength points that you lost through the shadow attacks are restored.
Oh, thank goodness.
Okay, so everyone is awake at this point. You all get the benefits of a long rest. What would you guys like to do?
I want to ask them if we can go visit the vampires again.
What vampire?
Or I'll ask Sizzler to come to the room where I found the sword in and see if there's anything in there.
That's a long way away.
It's right here.
Yeah, if you guys want to go all the way there, that's fine. But
there ain't nothing over here, is there?
Tell me what you guys want to do.
Is this opening, or is that just part of the...
No, that's part of the wall. Sorry.
Okay.
We talked about it last week, but that's just 100% a part of the wall. Even if you investigated it and got a nat 20 and everything, it's just a.
I just can't see the little zigzag lines that cross off the walls.
Yeah, the map is sort of goofy, but so it does sort of have just some dots there instead of a line, but it's 100% a wall, definitely.
Okay. So for knowledge sharing sake, can we assume that over the period of the long rest that the other group told us everything that they did over there and vice versa?
Yeah, definitely. Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
You guys catch each other up on what X-Men Blue Team and X-Men Gold Team have been up to.
Gold Team rules.
Blue Team runs away. We can go to this side of the hallway. We didn't go over here.
Yeah, I guess there's really nowhere to go where we came from, so we might as well circle back to your route.
There's another part of the hallway we didn't explore because we heard screaming.
Ulfgar, I know you've got one sword ready to go, but if you want any of this stuff we stole from the little goblins in my bag here, feel free.
Okay, I have my shovel for now.
Dual wielding, blue sword and shovel.
The blue vape
Shovel.
nache sword and shovel. Yeah, that's quite a sight to behold. And what were you wearing? Like rubber
I'm wearing
tights?
a loincloth because
Oh,
I was
okay.
wearing elf clothes, but then they kind of bursted off.
Oh, with the fire, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Are we going
Let's
to this hallway?
go back.
There's a hallway right here we haven't explored. Can I roll investigation and see what's around it?
Yeah, you can just roll perception. Or and whichever one you want. It's fine. Oh,
You can see through the walls.
yeah, you
The vape nache sword, dude.
vape nache sword shows you all. Okay, so you look down the hallway and you discover a few burned torch stubs and discarded potion bottles. Suggests that perhaps adventurers stop here from time to time, maybe to rest. But otherwise, the room is empty.
Oh, this is where we should have rested.
Ulfgar, as you're like, do you walk into the room too?
Yeah, I'm gonna walk down the hallway.
All right. Because of your incredible perception roll, you actually find two potions of healing amongst the discarded items.
Sizzler, I have nowhere to put these. Can you put these in your bag, please?
Sure can.
It doesn't need more. He's got infinite.
Well, now he has 2 extras for infinite. Infinite plus 2.
These are just regular potions of healing.
2d4 plus 2, yeah.
That is really irritating. There is nothing down here. There's just torches that have been burned down.
Okay. I guess we'll try to see what's up with those vampires, or maybe try to find another way around them.
Yep, so you guys basically have sort of two options at this point from what you can see. You can either head north, back toward where the vampires were, or you can move south.
Is this a wall or is that?
No, that's a door.
Okay.
A set of double doors. I'll expose it a little bit more. It's a set of double doors that was not opened or explored. And the vampires are in the room with the 3 statues. The double doors in the room with the 1 statue. Yeah, and you have also not investigated that west. What's on the west end of that hallway? So what do you guys want to do? North or south?
Or west.
True. But I mean, that's still sort of the north section.
Which way do we go? To the vampires or to the cave thing again?
Well, you can go around the other way, so you don't have to go through the cave again, so Roberto can follow if you guys want to go south.
Okay.
You guys can try to jump through the pillars again.
Do you want to go to the left? Over here?
I vote yes.
Okay, you gotta lead the way.
I'll lead the way.
Okay, so we're gonna go up here.
Yeah, since half our party is mysteriously napping, I think it would be best if we avoided the horde of vampires that almost killed Lina.
Agreed, I second that.
There were a lot in that room too. I don't
There's
recall the
what,
specific
should
amount.
have just tried being nicer to him.
Well, every dot on the screen is a vampire.
You guys should have just tried being nicer to him.
We tried. We barged in the door to say hello, and then they tried to kill Lina.
It seemed like they were trying to, banter with you guys on the way out.
Okay, so I will. If you're gonna go down this hallway, before you decide sort of what you're gonna do otherwise. Hold on. you notice.
Our tokens.
Yep, you notice your tokens. No, hold on. Let me do this.
An existential crisis waiting to happen.
Yeah. A mob that's ready to kill us all.
So you turn the corner.
Oh, it's room 5 because there's 5 pillars.
Yeah, you turn the corner and you notice at the end of the long hall is approximately a 50-foot square room with 5 pillars. Roll a perception check for me, everyone. Okay, wow, you guys all rolled really well. Everyone but Sizzler. Sizzler's preoccupied with the cursed sword glowing in front of him. Everyone but Sizzler notices that the 5 pillars are actually made from mortared humanoid bones that are painted black.
Crazy.
Sizzler, you notice this part, but the floors are littered with gnawed bones, and you see 2 alcoves, and the bones like stack up higher and higher. Like the piles culminate in those 2 alcoves of the gnawed on bones.
Jesus Christ, how horrifying.
This is unsettling even for me.
Well, I'd say this is somebody's chewing chamber, and we should probably not stick around in there.
Do you guys want to go? Does anyone want to go in the room?
Well, Alden's supposed to be up front.
Alden, you want to go?
Will.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Hey,
Oh gosh.
so the floor is littered with bones. So they're not all certified like the statue is, right? They're just sort of
No, they're just actually like bones that have noticeable like gnaw marks on them.
And these are just like 2 coves. They're just like
2 alcoves, yeah.
Okay.
Can I check to see maybe if I recognize what kind of creature might be gnawing?
Yeah, sure. Give me a survival check.
And while he's doing that, I'm gonna
Yes.
infuse. I'm gonna pull out an ear of corn from my bag and infuse magic it, and I'm gonna infuse a
Of
shield
corn?
of faith on it.
I know you're hiding corn from.
Okay, so what is that?
Yeah, so I'm principally doing this for Lina. So I'm gonna put this spell on this ear of corn, and I'm gonna hand it to Lina. And I'll say, Lina, if you get into some trouble in there, go ahead and use this corn. It'll cast a spell on you to give you some.
Is Shield of Faith an artificer spell? I guess so. Okay.
Cool, thanks.
Just for your out of game reference, this is what it does.
Okay.
And with infused magic, whenever you use it, for Lina and anybody else who I give stuff to in the future, it has to target you when you use it. So you can't use it to, in turn, buff somebody else.
Neat.
All right. So,
She has to maintain the concentration on that spell, by the way.
all right. So let's go back a second. Who rolled? Oh, Lina, you rolled survival. Lina, what is your background with regard to things that you have experienced before? What other planes or spaces have you been in?
I don't remember the name of it. She's from some plane. Celestial plane.
Okay,
Born and
so
raised.
sure. So you know that the things that have been gnawing on these bones the gnawing seems familiar, but you have a sneaking suspicion these things are not from this plane of existence.
Is it like infernal stuff?
No.
Demons?
Nope.
Okay.
Not a demon. Decidedly not a demon.
Dragons?
Not a demon or a dragon.
Okay, guys, it's not a demon or a dragon, but it's definitely not.
But is it a demonic dragon?
Haha, she didn't ask that.
Is it an angel?
No.
What the fuck?
She
Is
comes
it a
from the
fire?
celestial planes, right?
Bone crunching angels?
Is it
Alden.
a good dog?
Alden. All right, so here's how we're going to do this. Alden, I want you to roll a perception check. And Lina, I want you to roll a dex save.
We're about to find out.
Alden, all of a sudden, let's see what Lina's dex save is first.
Look
Oh,
out!
okay. Yeah, all of a sudden, Alden, you feel like the presence of evil just permeate your body, and you quickly like put your hands on Lina's shoulder and yell, "Look out!" And Lina dives back as a tentacle whips around the corner and smashes against the wall like a millimeter from Lina's face. Where if she was standing where she was, a second ago, she would have gotten her face wrecked by this large tentacle. And just as you're all watching this happen and the dust is settling from this tentacle that's slammed into the stone wall next to Lina's face, you see a grell.
Oh, what?
What's it
A
called?
grell.
A grell.
Adele starts singing.
Let's see, hold on. Yeah, Adele. Let me hold on. I can show you.
Little sister, a
He's a
grell.
little cutie.
Because I Google imaged it and it's just anime.
I just looked at.
That's exactly.
It is exactly what it is. Hold on.
You can look it up under the information tab under the, where you get your spells and
It's
stuff from.
Ursula from The Little Mermaid.
It's literally.
I can show it to you guys too. I'm not sure. I don't know.
It's literally a brain with a beak in front, and it has a bunch of jellyfish tentacles hanging underneath. But it looks.
Oh,
like
here I can.
Oh!
Ooh.
Does not sound good. Wait, where are you guys looking at this?
You know that the compendium tab, the I one on the top right.
Oh,
If
look
you
up
type-
Grill.
Yeah, if you
Here,
type
I can. Hold
GREL.
on. I can show you guys. Hold on.
Right. It looks like a silly little thing. I want to keep it as a pet. I want to roll animal handle.
That would be the best pet ever.
All right. So here's what we're gonna do. Everyone needs to roll initiative.
I want to read its attacks before we.
No, do not read its attacks.
Oh, I gotta click on my token.
That's so cheaty face. Don't do it.
-2. Who rolled that?
I don't think mine worked.
That's okay. I can put you guys on.
Lina rolled a crit fail. Rip.
Okay, let me add some people.
I mean,
Lina.
at least the crit fail is on initiative and not something actually important.
So true. Okay, who else is not on there? Alden?
Yes.
I rolled a 13.
Okay, Alden's 13.
Somehow I'm above Sizzler.
Lina's
Yeah,
2.
a hard 13.
Grell is
Whoa!
Alright.
Whoa!
Longest I feel
What the heck is that? What is going on?
Dude, that's like a code.
You used the semi bracket to start it.
I know that was the one error.
Okay, Sizzler goes first, then Alden, then Roberto, then Ulfgar, then the Grells, then Lina.
There's multiple grells. Oh,
Sorry,
no.
the singular Grell.
Can you draw
Only
them
one
on
grell.
Does my cursed sword now have?
You actually, the only you can see. Let's see. I will draw you.
gives you advantages against growth.
That would be amazing.
That's its only other property.
How did you know? Oh
Very
no!
neat.
Okay, there is a Grell right here, poking its head around the alcove.
Every time I hear you say a
Okay.
grill, there needs to be a period. Grill.
Okay, Alden, what are you gonna do? Sorry, I lied. Sizzler, what are you gonna do?
How big is he?
So where is it?
Big
it's in.
AF. It's the yellow dot.
He does
Okay.
look pretty big.
I mean, it's not huge. It's a medium creature, so just keep that in mind.
Big
Its
A.
tentacles
Big.
are very long. and
Everything
aggressive,
looks
though.
big to me.
True. Yeah, it's huge compared to you.
I would like to stand behind Alden, throw acid at it.
Sounds like a Sizzler thing to do.
Just don't get any on me, please.
Please hit. That's a good one.
Dex.
No!
He dips back into the alcove, and only his tentacles can be seen now.
This looks like a water monster, but somehow he's not in the water.
All right. Anything else?
I will shimmy back into the hallway.
Okay, Alden.
All right, let's see here. I want to, since we have a little bit of front line here with me and Lina, I'm going to cast Sanctuary on Lina.
You don't need to do that. She already has an ear of corn that can do that.
Yeah, well, now all of her tasks are going to go to other people.
Okay, you ward a
You know
creature
what?
within range
Actually,
against
no,
an
I
attack.
won't put it on Lina. I'm going to put it on Sizzler.
All right.
Oh yeah. Squawk squawk.
Okay, so you still have your
Yeah,
main
still
action
got
because
my
that's just the
main
bonus action, yeah. And you can move if you'd like.
Yeah, I'm going to move forward. I'm going to guess I can just, like, come up. And I want to cast Guiding Bolt on one of his little tentacle things. Or he's hiding in the pile, right?
No, he's in the alcove. Oh, you moved up into the room like that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you could see him then. He's in the alcove.
Well, isn't there a bunch of like cute, like a ton of bones in there?
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
not
there's a
like
lot of
hiding
bones.
in the bone pile, is he? He's just sort of chilling.
No, he's chilling. And actually, as you move up that even further, Alden, roll a perception check for me.
Oof.
Okay, you don't.
Go with the
You don't.
23. Go with
you
the
do-
23.
No, you do not notice. You do not notice anything else. You're focused on that singular grell, which is the only grell in the room.
Oh,
You said that so
great.
convincingly.
Definitely the only grell in the room.
All right, I am going to try to hit it with a Guiding Bolt.
All right, let's see that roll.
I don't know if that was.
It does not. Nope, it does not.
Damage.
It does not hit. You shoot a guiding bolt at it, but again, it's sort of what you just smash it. Your guiding bolt smashes into the pile of bones in front of it. It sort of dips and dodges behind the
So
bones.
evasive.
And your guiding bolt you're so fear struck by the evil you see in front of you that you cannot bear to strike it with your guiding bolt.
Off.
That too.
I don't
Roberto.
like evil.
Ribbit.
Ribbit. What are you gonna do, Roberto?
He would like to walk up to it and bite it.
Okay, make a bite
Grab one of them worm legs.
attack thing. All right. Let me see. Let me make it. Where's my growl thing? Oh, here it is. Hold on one sec. Let us see. Escape DC 13. What?
Does a 14 hit?
Yeah, 14 hits. Yeah, sorry. So are we doing a dex save to be ungrappled? Is that what the scenario is? I suppose.
It's
Or
grappled
strength?
until this grapple. Till his turn, right? Oh, sorry.
He gets to make a
DC.
he gets to make a save against the thing. Is it just strength or is it dexterity? That's the question.
I think he is grappled, but the escape is the DC 13.
Let's see. Let's Google it. bite.
I'll hit the damage anyway.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh.
I would feel like it
And then
would be
poison
either.
toad gums, you know?
That actually hit.
Yeah, 14 hits, I guess.
Damn.
Squishy growls.
Yeah, 14 does hit. Wow, that is a lot of damage. Okay. Yeah, so that hits the Grell for 13 damage, but the Grell does get a save. It actually doesn't matter whether it is strength or dex. It's the same. But it is not grappled. Okay, so Ulfgar.
I am going to run up in front of Alden.
Okay.
Raid, and use my vape curse sword to attack this.
Roberto, first of all, sorry. Ulfgar and Roberto, please make a perception check.
Oh gosh, here we go.
Roberto's passive perception is
Wait, do I get to roll it? No, I don't roll with advantage yet, I guess.
10.
Yeah, you're gonna roll up. Do you have does he have perception otherwise?
No.
Okay, it's not gonna do it. Ulfgar, that will do it. You notice as you sprint up in front of Alden, you notice another Grell. Believe it or not, in the other alcove bones.
Nice. I want to take that one. It's less damage.
I'm gonna whisper to Alden.
You found it.
Be careful.
Well, be careful of what?
You will or may not find out here in a second.
All right, what are you gonna do, Ulfgar? You run in front of Alden to try to protect him from the angry Grell.
I'm raging now.
Oh my god, you look at you using your abilities properly.
Shut up. And I'm gonna stab it with my vape curse Nash sword.
Vape Nash. All right, let's see. Yep, 15 hits. Vape Nash. All right, 10 slashing damage to the poor defenseless Grell who hasn't even hurt you guys at all yet.
I'm taking its tentacles
He
off.
attacked us first.
He didn't touch any of you.
He almost ripped Lina's face off.
I mean, but he didn't.
Like in face off.
Maybe he was trying to hold her hand. You guys didn't even ask.
So we see the little.
What language does
freaking tentacle made?
What language does a Grell speak?
Grellian.
Yep.
You
know what's really funny? You know what's really funny? It actually says the language is Grell.
I call out to the Grell and say, "You speak common?"
It just goes like growl, 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 growl.
Sounds like a freaking Pokemon.
It is a Pokemon.
Growl, growl.
It's just it's a tentacruel or a tentacle. It's not big enough to be a tentacle.
Okay, so what are you gonna do now, Ulfgar?
My turn's over, isn't it?
Sure. I mean, if you have any you used it. You're raging as a bonus action, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, John, we can apply. I mean, I made the roll for the save, so it's just at the wrong time. So the monster is not grappled by or breaks the grapple, whichever we're gonna do. From
tentacles though.
Just for going forward. So during those last couple turns, it was grappled, but now it's not.
Got it. That makes sense. Okay. So what the Grell is going to do is what's the order here? So is Roberto in front? How is it stacked? Because I know that Ulfgar ran in front of Alden, but if Roberto was biting the Grell, then it was probably in front of Ulfgar, right?
Yeah.
The Grell's gonna attack whatever is closest to it.
Next to me, I'm like.
Has anyone else meleeed it? Because if not, then
no.
Yeah.
I am where my character is. I didn't really get into melee range. I sort of ran up and casted guiding.
Okay, so the Grell is going to try to bite. Roberto back. It goes in its own. I mean, you guys hear it. It's like growl, 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 but it's like, oh, you're gonna bite me? Watch this, and it bites at Roberto. Does a 23?
Holy
Does a 23
brother.
hit?
No.
Okay. It does 8 piercing damage, 8 beak damage.
Beak damage. Not as high as the tongue damage.
Also true. And then it whips around its tentacle and strikes out at Ulfgar.
What am I,
Bring
chopping?
it.
Oh,
Yeah.
good lord! And it just like gets its. It gets its.
Grab it and cut its tentacle off.
It gets its tentacle like wrapped around one of the pillars accidentally, and just whiffs horribly. The other Grell is going to float behind this pillar.
Another Grell.
Gingerly?
Surprise! There's an additional Grell.
I was informed that there was only one Grell.
Oh goodness, what are you guys gonna do? Okay, so the Grell, this Grell is going to again do the same thing. He's going to try to bite at, the mechanical toad and whip its tentacle at Ulfgar.
Wait, the other one's doing the same thing?
Yes.
Copycat.
What?
You guys, for having brains only as a head, you're smart.
What the? Okay. For some
All I
reason-
can say is their fucking name, so how smart can they be?
Oh, I don't know. I just did that like a billion times because it didn't load for me for some reason. Okay, so the
We're taking the bottom one.
what the heck? No, you get the
Yeah.
first beak and the first tentacle. So the first beak, I mean, it does a 5 hit, Roberto.
No.
Oh, So he like
Yeah.
again, he sort of like he tries to reach down and he just bites into the pillar of bones, and then does an 8 hit you, Ulfgar.
No.
Okay, so he whips his tentacle at you around the pillar after he bit the pillar, but he's disoriented and whips his tentacle well wide of you. Lina,
So
it's your
just
turn.
a blind Grell.
Yeah, basically.
I'm thinking. Hold on.
Fire.
That's immediately what I thought when she ran in.
That seems like a particularly Lina thing to do.
The
How
water types are
many-
resistant to fire.
Somehow we're about to magic
How
missile.
many feet is a square? 5?
10.
10. So when you go diagonal, okay. So Lina, I'm sorry, my neighbor has a car alarm going off. It's really annoying.
It's okay.
She's going to cast Quicken Spell
Okay.
and do Blink. Won't roll for that yet though. And then she's gonna cast Fireball up where the Grell was, or at least the space in front of it.
Okay.
And then that new Grell that appeared is gonna get wrecked. Hold on.
Do you have to roll on the wild magic table for any of that?
Yeah, for both. Oh my god, like now 3 alarms are going off. This is so like distracting. I can't focus.
Well, in your
This is all
blind,
the
Please,
yeah.
please don't focus.
This is the
in
Grell's
your-
doing.
in your blind rage, instead of shooting a fireball at it, you actually swung a dagger at it.
And missed.
Oh.
Stabbed
Okay.
your own foot.
Let's see. Dex. Nope. Doesn't make it. Good lord. Okay.
It's a big ass fireball.
Yeah, you burn the shit out of the Grell. Yeah, so the Grell is on fire. The Grell to the right, next to Roberto, and that's the one that you were shooting at, right?
Yeah, the new one, the one to the left.
Oh, the one to the left is the one that you were shooting at?
Yeah, because
Oh, okay.
otherwise
Never mind. So that
anyone
one's on
within
fire.
20 feet.
Oh, I see. Okay, yep. So the one on the left is on fire.
Okay, and then Lina blinks out. And then I have to roll 2 more d20. So hold.
There, now he's on fire.
Lina, similar to how, similar to what happened last time, you feel your body do what it typically does to, like, you sort of have the sensation of blinking into out of the out of the plane into, what is the other plane called? Not the shadow. What is it called? Ethereal. Yeah, ethereal.
The shadow realm.
Yeah, the shadow realm. So your body feels, it feels like the spell works, and it feels like your body is about to shift into the ethereal plane, and then just like it just doesn't happen. You can't quite figure out what's going on from just your attempt to blink alone, but something is, this is your second attempt to blink that you felt was successful, and just something seems to be stopping you from leaving this plane.
Spooky.
I notice her blink fizzle.
I roll a perception. Yeah, you do.
Do I notice how shiny my sword is?
Roll a perception.
Dude, this is gonna be the shiniest sword ever.
Yeah, it's like 100% 420 blaze it Vape Nash sword. You're enthralled.
So happy.
Okay, Lina, anything else?
Nope.
All right, Sizzler, back to you.
I will pop back into the room and throw some more acid at the one that's on fire.
Okay. All right, Fire Grell. Can you not do it? Wow, these Grells are rolling very poorly. Okay, yep. The Grell is now on fire and sizzling with acid.
Yeah. Now I'm done.
All right, Alden. Alden, now's your chance. Expose yourself as the end boss and save your pet Grells.
Nah, these ones aren't as good as my other one.
Okay.
What the?
Look at something here.
What the
I wish to cast Sacred Flame on the fire.
All right, let's see it.
fuck?
DC 14.
Okay,
save.
Dex. Come on, Grell. No, holy. Okay. What does Sacred Flame do?
6 damage.
Is there any? I mean, does it do anything else other than just 6 damage? Is my point.
Let me check really quick.
Sure.
Flames, fans, target must see it on. Dex save and throw, take 1d8 damage. Nope.
Okay. All right, Roberto.
Roberto is gonna take another bite at the one that just beaked him.
Okay. The one on the right, the non-flaming acid flamed.
Yeah. He
Double
doesn't
flame.
want to be biting flaming acidy monsters.
Double flamed, radiant flame, normal flame. Holy yep, that definitely hits. Ouch.
That was a stupid brain.
Grappled Grell.
Ouch, ouchies. You hear the Grell say, growl, growl, and like a...
Growl, growl.
You can...
Like a Pokemon.
Yeah, you can interpret it as saying like, ouch, ouch. All right, and it is grappled. Ulfgar.
Quick, throw your balls at it.
Throw your balls at it, Ulfgar. Chop them off with your Vape Nash sword.
That would hurt. No. I'm gonna stab this brain again. I'm gonna wait.
Wait, the double flamed acid one, or the
Roberto's biting.
Okay. Roberto's looks like a dog that you put a rope in its mouth and it's shaking its head around it doesn't want to let go. You whiff. Roberto's just whipping this thing around 2 aggressively for you to get a clean hit with the Vape-Nash sword.
So that didn't help Ulfgar's case, but while Roberto has something bitten in his tongue,
You get
attacks have
advantage on attacks.
against.
Yeah.
I'm raging, so I have advantage anyway.
You get double, triple advantage. No. Okay, so
Super advantage.
Anything else, Ulfgar?
I'm gonna hit Roberto on the head with my shovel in anger.
All right, we'll go to the
Roberto.
we'll go to the Grell's turn. Okay, so grappled Grell is going to try to break free. Obvi.
It's gonna be its one.
And
dex.
does not. Okay, it's just gonna be extra grappled. And since it crit failed on its tentacle attack, his tentacles are wrapped around the pole. So we'll go to Grell 2, who's flaming, radiant flaming, and also burning with acid. He is going to try to save his friend, and he attempts to take a nibble out of Roberto. Good lord! And again, decides that it's probably better for him to bite the pole, and that will be the end of his turn. He's extra disoriented from crit failing twice in a row in his beak bite, and these Grells are having the worst possible day. Lina.
They should just die.
She's gonna cast Scorching Ray at the one on fire.
Okay. Just to be clear, it's on fire twice, both normally and radiantly.
Nice.
That Scorching Ray does not hit. You can't seem to find a spot that's not on fire on the Grell, so you in your attempt, the Scorching Ray just zips right past it.
No, she's gonna use Tides of Chaos to re-roll that.
Okay, let's get. I think that is a definite roll as well for Wild Magic. That Scorching Ray hits. You found the spot. You found the 2 inches of Grell that has not been lit on fire, and you light it on fire. Let's get the damage on that second Scorching Ray.
Those were for Wild Magic.
Sure.
That's disappointing.
All right, more fire. Grell is extra fired. Anything else?
Fire.
No, that's it.
Okay, Sizzler, back at the top of the order.
Acid at the fire, Grell.
Oh my god. Double acid, triple fire. Let's see it. Okay, fingers crossed, Grell. No. Nope. Just no. This vial of acid seems to do it, and the acid just covers the Grell, and the fire actually goes out, and you just see it just crumple into nothing on the ground. Just sizzle, the sizzle that your namesake is the only thing left of the Grell at this point.
Awesome.
All right.
I'll do a little hop and kick my heels. My metallic bird heels.
Okay.
Chicken metal feet.
Sorry.
All right. Alden.
Well, that guy, he's gone and I'll miss him, but I guess we'll attack the other guy. Let's see. I will hit him with a Sacred Flame.
Oh, more fire. All right, let's see if the Grell can do. If the Grell can do anything useful. That's a no. That's
The worst Grells ever.
Yeah, we're just gonna go no with that. Okay, ideal. Okay, so yeah, you light this Grell on fire, Alden.
That's good. I like that.
All right, so now we have a second Grell on fire, who's also grappled. So life is not good. Life is fleeting for this Grell. Roberto.
What size are the Grells?
medium.
Oh boy.
All right.
It's advantage, so that's going to be a
Sure.
3.
Wait, you're swallowing this thing?
You swallow the flaming grell.
So it takes 7 and it's swallowed.
All right. The grell disappears into the flaming grell disappears into Roberto's mouth.
I really want to do something, but I have a feeling it would backfire so hard.
And Wiz, just for your reference, because I was curious, and I'll send this to you in Discord, but there are only certain things that can get them out of being swallowed.
What
other than the toad being killed by other means.
Is there any persistent damage? Oh, it takes 3d6.
3d6 per its turn, I think. Oh, Roberto's turn. Sorry.
So then, no one else knows this, but the grell dies in Roberto. Roberto no longer feels the grell moving once it swallows it. So you all are out of combat, unless you want to attack Roberto's mouth or something. But I mean, you'd be attacking a dead grell.
Well, I wanted one of the legs off the grells, but I can't do that now.
Yeah, because it's like very acidy. They all died. They both died in very acidy ways. I don't think there's going to be much of a leg left.
Well,
remaining.
They were burnt in multiple ways.
Yeah, on fire and acid. How's how they met their apparently very timely end, considering they couldn't do anything.
Give Roberto one more tap with the shovel in disgust and walk away.
Dink.
He burps at Ulfgar, and it smells like whatever burnt grell smells like.
Acid burnt grell.
Classic Roberto, eating things. All right, so what would you guys like to do? You're in this sort of like death chamber that apparently was not very deadly, and you've just defeated 2 grells.
Is there anything else cool in this room, or is it just a grell?
Let's investigate. Can we investigate the grell corners where they have the big stacks of bones?
Yes, you can. Sure. Okay, everyone. Yeah, pick a corner. Pick which corner you want. There's a north corner and there's an east corner. Who wants to go to north corner? Who wants to go to east corner?
I'm gonna go north too.
Okay, who else is going north?
I'm in the north corner already.
Well,
Okay.
I'm already at east, so I'll investigate east.
Lina, are you at east as well? Might as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Sizzler and Lina roll 1d12s for me. Each of you roll a 1d12. Good lord, Sizzler, you're 1d12 rolling today for finding things. Not good.
Great.
Everybody or just people in the
15?
No, just the 2 of them. Yeah, seriously. You, Sizzler, yeah, you find 10 silver and a just a common dagger. And Lina, you find 32 silver and a hold on. One second.
Are we keeping track of the party's inventory somewhere?
I don't think there was much left in the.
I think what we've normally been doing is if there's token amounts of money, everyone keeps it for themselves, whoever finds it. But if there's like a big quest reward, then we divvy that up.
I can't have, even if I had a bag.
Lina, you find a small topaz gem.
Oh, neat. A small topaz gem.
Oh, I'll trade you for this common dagger.
No, I don't think so.
Seems good.
I healed you earlier. That only seems fair. And I gave you some enchanted corn.
The last time I had gems, you stole them.
I didn't do that.
How
Yes,
dare
you
you
did.
remember?
You just gave them to a creature who I happened to stuff in my bag. There's a difference.
Don't think so. But thanks for the corn.
I have a Bungo statue. Would you like a Bungo statue?
I already have one.
I think mine's better.
Are these columns load bearing?
You can roll an investigation to check. It seems that they are not. Well, they are load bearing. It seems like they're load bearing, but only on the walls, only on the roof above.
Should we knock down the columns?
Oh no. Oh no.
So to be
They're kind of creepy, and I don't think we should leave evil things.
yeah. So
around.
to be clear, like there aren't necessarily columns holding up like the other corridors or rooms that you've been in. So with your 18 investigation, you'd imagine that it would only cause some sort of a collapse of the ceiling if there was something above, which you can't tell with your investigation whether there's like a room above this or not.
I mean, yeah, that's fine. It's probably only for this room too. It's not going to collapse the whole building.
Yeah, it probably won't kill you all. It's not a big deal. Just do it. Knock them down.
Can we run out first, please?
No.
What if you just blow them up on our way out?
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you.
Look at Lina learning from her previous encounters.
I'll miss you, Grells.
Roberto burps again.
I turn to Roberto and I say, "You really like those grilled grills?" And then I pet him. And then I move on.
Hey, before we leave, hey Sizzler, is there any magic within these walls that would prevent someone from magically leaving?
Sizzler is going to think for an indeterminate amount of time for that.
Very hard. Out of context of Wolfgar, I have a sneaky suspicion of what it is.
Of what it is?
Of what's stopping her from speaking.
Oh.
What's that?
Well, my character doesn't know him, but the
He'll
sword.
never tell.
The curse. The Vabenash curse.
That's an interesting theory.
All right. What
know.
do you guys want to do now?
Well, we're waiting for Sizzler to get out of the room, so we.
Sure. So I mean, you guys can all leave the room. That's fine. So I'm sure Sizzler will follow you.
I hope he does.
So Sizzler follows you out of the room, and what are you gonna do, Lina?
Blow it up.
All right. You blow up the room.
Awesome. She like flips her shades as she walks away from it.
Much fire and brimstone is had in the room. It looks really dope as you flip your hair. Like everyone's like, "Ooh, Lina's a badass." You really prove you really prove why you're the leader of the Batman.
We are Batman.
Okay, so what would the group like to do? There is an opportunity to go. Let's see, what's undiscovered thus far? You can head to the Vampire Death Room, or you can head. The only thing that you also haven't discovered is the double doors down in the room with the singular statue, which is down at 25B. So you can basically either go north, or you can go southeast.
I want to go to double doors and not die to vampires.
Yeah, let's go to Dumbledore's.
Dumbledore, here we come.
Oh, I lost my character blip in the black.
That's okay. Make a new one. It's fine.
It's fine. I had my old one in the hall.
Oh.
So do we just get to freely move our characters down there?
Do you get a what?
We're going to the double doors.
Yeah, if you're walking all the way to the double doors, just someone roll a 1d12 with advantage for me.
Got you.
Or no, sorry, I lied. A 1d20 with advantage. Alden,
Alden, please stop.
Oh,
Please stop.
you get it with advantage, so roll
Nailed
it.
it.
Okay.
How do I put it in as advantage?
All right. So as you are, how quickly? Someone describe to me. Are you just like meandering down to 25
I feel
feet?
like we're casually sauntering.
Okay, casually sauntering. And I'm assuming for Sizzler's sake that you guys take the long way around, or are you going to take the short way around and just say fuck Roberto?
Yeah, we're gonna take the long. Well, I want to say F Roberto because he ate my tentacle. Take the long way.
Okay. All right. So just so you know, as you take the long way, for those of you who are in X-Men Gold Group Gold, you're passing through the room with the two pillars again, the two magical pillars.
Oh. This is interesting.
So if anyone wants to take an opportunity to jump through the dual pillars, now's your time to do so.
I do it.
All right. 1d12. You know the drill. Oh no, you weren't. You were on blue team, weren't you? Which team were you on?
Gold team rule.
Oh, okay. Then you do know the drill.
It was me, Lina, and.
Oh, that's right.
Drill.
Okay, 6. Nothing happens.
Damn it.
Anyone
I hate
else?
this stupid game.
Anyone else want to take a stab?
I'll jump.
You see Alden doing the jump, and you're like, oh, cool, and you do the jump, and you roll out 1d12. Okay, so Alden, as you noticed before, Ulfgar, you don't really notice anything different. But Alden, as you've witnessed several times already, Ulfgar just disappears.
Friend Ulfgar, where did you go?
You don't even see the glowing blue sword anymore. You see nothing.
Does the sword still glow for me?
Yeah, everything is the same for you, Ulfgar. You can't tell anything has changed. But Alden sees that you've disappeared.
Where did you go,
Ulfgar? Lina, you're witnessing all of this. Do you do anything?
What are they doing?
They're jumping through two pillars.
These two pillars specifically.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Roll a 1d12. Everyone's doing it. You might as well do it. Roll a 1d12.
Everybody's jumping off the bridge. You might as well do it.
Okay, Lina, you also, similar to Alden, you just watched Ulfgar jump through and disappear. You watched Alden jump through and didn't notice anything different. You jump through following Ulfgar, and you notice nothing. There's no change for you. And Alden, you notice that Lina is still there. Sizzler, do you want to jump through the pillars?
No, I will never jump through any pillars ever again.
Ulfgar's invisible.
Ulfgar's invisible. Nothing happened for Lina and.
They went back to that spot.
Yeah, they went the long. They're going the long way around to the double doors, so it's not to encounter the 5 million vampires. But they went the long way so that Roberto could make it to you.
Could follow.
Wait,
Right, we shall
invisible?
join you.
Yeah, Ulfgar's invisible. Lina, you're sort of shocked. You're sort of shocked by this because you were not with Gold Team when they initially encountered this room.
Yeah, what else is in this room?
That's about it. That's the only cool thing in that room. We just know that's something weird with the pillars.
You look around the room a bit, Lina, and you're like, yeah, something weird is with those pillars. Do you want to try to jump through again? I'll give you one more shot. All right, you jump through again. Roll a 1d12.
Oh no. I've seen what happens. Don't do it.
Oh.
Okay. Lina, all of a sudden, what is the main weapon that you carry around? A staff or something?
Yeah, I guess.
Well, what weapons do you carry?
Quarterstaff, crossbow, and dagger.
Okay, so those 3 weapons that you have, you jump through, and the rest of you, and Lina, you notice this too, all of a sudden, all 3 of those weapons start to glow light purple. Like a faint purple light just immediately starts to emanate from Lina's weapons. But only her weapons.
Oh, you're Mace Windu now.
Alright, she's gonna take her quarterstaff and swing it in the air.
It feels stronger than before.
That's bizarre. She puts it back and carries on.
All right, so you guys are going to move down to the double doors. Okay. Just going to kick those doors down? What's going to happen?
I am tempted to kick them down, but I will be careful.
We call out for any vampires on the other side first?
Hello,
Trigger
please don't kill us.
plate traps or something?
Hello? They're not. It was not a plate
We have
trap.
garlic.
You don't hear any response.
All right, I open the door.
All right, you see a hallway leading east and a hallway leading south.
Ooh.
No, decidedly no vampires or plates are on the other side of the door.
All right, team. My gut tells me we should go south.
So, one of the things that you do notice, though, is that these tunnels have flat ceilings. They're approximately 10 feet high and 10 feet wide. And one of the things that you've noticed in your travels through this area is that some of the hallways seemed like worn and seemed like a little bit dirty. This area, you notice the floors and the walls and the ceiling are like clean, like very clean. There's not a drop of dust or dirt on any portion of these hallways.
Oh man, janitor came through here.
No!
Are the
Any-
floors nice and buffed?
Yeah, and super buffed, and any plate you see is a clean plate.
Nice. Plate's so clean you could eat off of.
Yeah, believe it or not.
All right, I head south.
Okay. So as you, Alden, as you start to head south, you notice that the hall is brightly lit by flickering candles that seem to float in these shallow niches along the walls.
Do they look like regular flames, or they look all magically?
They seem to be like do you like try to touch one or reach out to one or get closer to one?
I won't like touch it, but I'll try to get like near one to see if it like emits heat.
Sure. So as you get closer to it, you realize that it doesn't emit heat, but you notice that there's no smoke coming off of it whatsoever. So it's safe to assume that it's not a normal candle.
Guys, these flames are fake as hell. I go down this hallway and look towards either side. I will look both ways before crossing this hallway.
Okay, so you're going toward 26A.
Yeah.
Okay. So roll an investigation for me. Okay, so what you actually notice as you get closer to it, you notice more than what I told you for the candle. You notice that wax is running down the side of the candle, but it never drips onto the floor. It just rolls down and then stops. The candles also, as you like stand there and stare at it for I don't know a minute, the candle seems to be melting wax, but it doesn't ever seem to be consumed. Like no portion of the candle seems to be diminished by the burning flame.
Okay, now I want to touch it.
You explode. Free roll a character, please. You also notice, Alden, that similar to the previous hallway that you were in, the hallway that leads to this one, that this corridor is conspicuously free of dust or debris.
Well, guys, it looks like this is the new wing.
Curse of cleanliness.
You
The
look
worst
down.
curse of all.
You look down the hallway on each side, and you notice that this corridor is very long, and the candles pretty much go down the entire section.
So if I touch one of these candles, nothing happens?
You touch one?
Yeah, I want to touch one.
Nothing happens.
Okay.
It's hot though, so be careful.
Yow! Alright.
I recognize the craftsmanship of any of the holding pieces.
Any of the what?
It's holding the candles. I don't know if you've described already.
Yeah, no, nothing is holding the candles. They're just sort of sitting in these like niches in the corner.
Okay, never mind then.
Alden, do you try to pick a candle up?
You know what? No. I just started touching one.
No, when you say it like that, no. Okay, yeah. So you notice that it's hot. The wax is still hot, but it just doesn't seem to ever accumulate anywhere.
It's more because it was just like, well, I didn't really think to do that. I just figured if I touched one and it was an illusion, it would just like dissipate. So.
Well, that's interesting. I would like to grab a candle.
Okay. Sizzler, roll an investigation for me. Okay, yeah. So Sizzler, you notice almost instantly from when you grab the candle that the wax that previously seemed to roll down the side of the candle but never accumulate anywhere instantly starts rolling over your hand and down onto the floor.
Interesting.
So,
Not in a more aggressive way, but just in a natural way.
So were they on like saucers before?
Nope, no, they weren't on
just
saucers or
floating?
anything. They were just sitting right on the sort of the stone alcoves in the wall, just not touching anything but the stone, wall alcove, basically.
Okay. So is it like it's like in the wall? Just
Yeah, there's like little cutouts
in
there's like little cutouts in the wall, and there's a candle in each one.
I want to like feel around the bottom of one of those alcoves.
No, actually, technically, sorry, there are 2 candles in each alcove.
Oh, I'd like to.
And there's 25 alcoves.
I like try to prop the candle on the floor and see what happens.
Yeah, it's melting on the floor as if a candle naturally would.
Come on, Sizzler. Somebody just cleaned it.
Off in a distance, you hear a janitor grumble.
That's the real boss.
No.
All
right,
yeah,
well,
I wanna stick my hand in one of the alcoves and like feel around under the candles.
Okay, roll something for me, in either an investigation, an arcana, something.
We'll go with investigation. Neum.
Oh yeah. So you feel, Alden, on your hand, like you feel that this magical energy, a slight magical energy coming from the alcove.
Go, ooh, tingly, with like magic tingly. Sizzler,
What else do you stick in the alcove?
Oh, don't you worry about that. Sizzler, you know magic and junk, right?
It's like everyone who has a passive perception over 14 hears Alden's pants unzip.
Well, that's good because I only have a passive perception of 13, so I don't even know him.
Where's yet?
But
That's
yeah, you should
gross.
check out some of this stuff over here.
Oh, please, Lina, coming from you, that's rich.
So there's some magical wall property going on here, and you're saying you want me to detect it.
Maybe.
Oh,
Okay. Sizzler, as you cast Detect Magic, all of the candles in the hallway that you're in fall to the floor and break.
Sizzler, what did you do?
So the hallway is now just pitch black, and like they're just candles that are, you just hear them all shatter when they hit the floor, like, and all the lights are just going out all the way down the hallway.
Alden made me do it.
Anyone got a light?
Lina will cast light at both ends of the hallway.
The only thing you guys can see, if whoever doesn't have dark vision before Lina does that, is the Vape Nash sword.
Oh, I thought I was invisible.
Oh yeah, you are invisible. Never mind.
Yeah,
You
I
can't
can't
see the
see
Vape
that.
Nash sword. The only thing you can see is Lina's. You can see the faint purple glow of Lina's weapons.
Okay,
As far as you guys are concerned, Ulfgar has left you forever.
I go, I miss Ulfgar.
Dude, I'm just
And we
doing
can see
spells.
Roberto's Hypnotoad eyes.
All right, so Lina casts light.
Alright, gang.
Hey, do we go? What is that?
All right, who's going
That's
down to the
light
left?
that she cast.
Oh, she casts. Got it.
If we're
So,
going
east
by
or
us
west?
going
East or west,
I
or
want
back
to go
north,
east.
northwest, northeast.
Actually, first I want to check the magic candles. Were there any like on the north? Was that whole hallway like lit
the hallway that you're in, or the hallway above you guys?
above us, like up here?
Sure. So let's see. You look down this hallway, and there are no candles, but it's just the remainder of the clean hallway, all the way to a door.
Not interested in that door. Let's go this way.
I'm gonna follow the pink blob.
Pink blob. Okay, so again, it's dark. Other than if you don't have dark vision, you see the faint purple glow of Lina's weapons and Lina's light spell. There is a. Let's see.
I also want to say when I get to this part of the hall, I'm like, I can't see very well. Does somebody else want to take the helm?
Lina cast light
Well-
on Alden.
Oh, that works then. Tally ho!
So this Alden
You're so bright.
She cast
Alden is
right on his forehead.
Alden is a beaming. Basically Alden can't see anything because he's blinded by the light that is now on his forehead. But everyone can just see this this lighthouse of a what what are you, a halfling, Alden?
Yes, I'm a halfling.
Yeah, he's a lighthouse of a halfling. Stumbling around, blinded by his own lighthouse-esque light.
Why is he blinded?
These can't.
It's like a torchlight.
All right, so he's not blinded. It's just funny to imagine him stumbling around with this light
He
on
does
his
that
head.
on his own. He doesn't need help.
Okay, so at the end of the hallway, Alden, you notice.
This part?
Yes, you notice that so you follow that hallway down, and where the arrow sort of is pointing down, you notice that there's like just a blank wall. It's a dead end.
Oh, where the arrow is?
Correct. So both ends of the hallway that you've seen so far are dead ends. There is a door to the north end of the west side of the hallway. There's a hallway that leads to the south end of that hallway as well, where Lina's the other side of the hallway that you're currently in. And then there's also a door north of you guys.
All right, guys. That part of the hall is still under construction. I saw the cones and everything.
Lina wants to double check to see if there's anything in the walls that would make it look like a one-way window.
Okay.
What would make you do that?
Roll. I don't know. It's just definitely not the strange arrow pointing in the map. Roll something for me. Give me an investigation. All right, Lina, you really spend some time investigating this wall, and it does seem like there's something going on with the wall. You can't quite figure out what it is though, and there's definitely no it's definitely not a door, and there are definitely like no holes in it for anyone to like creep on you through the wall.
Creepy peeky doors.
Yeah, it's not a creepy peeky scenario or a door. But there's something going on with this wall that you just can't quite put your finger on.
Dude, is Roberto just taking his own detour?
Guys, we're probably being watched.
It doesn't feel like something physical to you, Lina, if that makes sense.
Somewhat.
I'd let Sizzler check it out, though. You saw what happened last time.
I saw what happened last time we opened.
So, again, we have the doorway and hallway to the west, and we have the doorway to the north.
I'm going to be riding Roberto down the hallway to the left.
All right. So
Before we leave, I say, good job, friend Lina, and then we'll go on.
All right. So you see a doorway to the north, and then you see a hallway to the south that juts off into two directions.
Is this door open?
The door does open. The door swings open, Sizzler. You did not check for traps, so you are greeted by the horrid noise of nothing. It's just a 10-foot square room that is empty on the other side.
It look like there are empty boxes where stacks of candles might be taken from.
Yeah. You see like 500 Amazon packages for magic candles behind the door.
I hope they have the return receipt. All right, I will continue on down the hallway, riding Roberto.
All right. So you look down this portion of the hallway, and it just continues.
Just keep walking.
We're gonna go all the way down here.
All right. It is a dead end. Sizzler, what is your passive perception?
It is 11. And Roberto's is 10.
Yeah, that's not going to do it.
Goodbye, my friend. Every time Wiz says, that's not good. No, he's just assuming he's about to die.
That's not a terrible assumption.
I don't like this part of the whatever we're in.
It's spooky.
More like annoying.
Sorry, Sizzler, what's your passive perception?
11 and 10.
Oh, 11. Sorry, I didn't hear the other side. Okay, so you are
dead.
No, you can't. No one can quite tell what happened, but let's see. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
It's me or also Roberto?
Roberto as well. Okay, so you are not exactly sure what happened, but you get pushed back 5 feet. Something like bumps into you, and you get pushed back 5 feet.
Sorry.
Then you does a 14 hit? You?
How long does that spell?
10 minutes.
Minutes. Has it been 10 minutes?
Most certainly.
No.
A 14 does not hit? Oh.
Yep.
Okay. So you take 12 acid damage, seemingly out of nowhere.
Oh. Revenge from a gale or whatever.
All right, let's everyone roll. Let's see. Let me clear the table. Everyone roll initiative.
Nailed
What
it.
the hell?
Oh my god! Literally, how did the -2? What the fuck? I can't roll for shit tonight. That's crazy.
Fastest cube in the West.
Holy Sizzler. He wants revenge.
Well, out of any night for you to roll bad, tonight is probably the best.
Yeah, true. All right. So Sizzler, you felt yourself get pushed back by this thing that you can't quite see, and you're super confused right now. But you just got like smacked in the face by this like seemingly invisible thing, and it burned you. You know what acid feels like, and that felt like acid.
But it's all goopy.
Okay, I will look around for what hit me with acid for a bunch of damage.
Okay, roll perception. Okay, so you like sort of squint your eyes after you get smacked, and it like appear. You know, you do those like what are those? What were those things called when you were
Magic
a kid?
eyes?
Yeah, like those magic eye things where you like cross your eyes for a second, you uncross them, like the thing's there all of a sudden. Like you do that, and then this is a massive cube, like 10-foot by 10-foot cube that just takes up the entire hallway.
Jesus.
Is right in front of you, like
Yes.
an inch away from your face. And so
Lots of pain, dude.
Like where the 26 is?
What? Yeah.
Like where
well,
it's
yeah,
like
sure.
here?
Yeah, like where the 26 is. Yeah, it's like an inch away from. It's on the space right next to you, and it takes up the entire. Like you could barely see it, in part because it's like a see-through ooze, and also in part because it actually takes up the entire hallway. Like there's almost no space in between the roof, the walls, the ceiling, the walls, and the ground.
Holy shit, guys! There's a massive cube over here.
Kill
Acid
it with
on it.
fire.
All right, throw acid on it.
Boom, acid.
Okay, this thing, as we already know, has an incredible dexterity because it takes up the entire freaking thing. I
made the cube for you.
I have to crit in order to not get hit by this acid, just FYI. Strangely enough, I get hit by the acid. Okay.
Acid on acid, that should heal it.
Okay, so you throw acid on the cube. It burns.
Since it's also in my face, I'll use my bonus offhand and slash it with my sickle.
All right, slash it. Yeah, an 18 indeed hits.
Sickle's helping.
You tickle it a little bit with your sickle. Okay, Lina, it's your turn. Roll a perception for me. Yeah, you don't know what the fuck Sizzler's talking about. You just see Sizzler like he threw acid like against a wall, basically, and is slashing at this thing that you can't quite comprehend what the hell he's talking about.
Can I peek around Roberto to see?
Sure. Try to move closer to them, like where they are, and look and roll perception again. Okay, like now that you get super close, you look, you don't see what the hell he's talking about. Then you like walk up right next to Sizzler's face and like put your face next to his face, and then all of a sudden, you do the same thing Sizzler did. You watched him the first time, and you like cross your eyes. You do like the magic eye thing. You like move your head back and uncross your eyes, and you're like, holy shit! There's like a giant fucking cube, like an inch away from your face.
Kind of cube?
A giant fucking cube.
That's gross.
GFC.
Yeah.
GFC.
Lina's gonna cast probably magic missile.
No, cast like the fire thing that explodes and everyone within a 20-foot radius.
I'm game
What
for
if
that.
what if I told you the cube was weak to that specific fire spell?
Yeah, give her advantage on that spell.
Do it. What do you mean?
Raise the stakes.
She would 100% do it.
I'm just kidding.
She is not that predictable. Yeah, probably. No,
Okay.
she's gonna cast magic missile.
Sure, go ahead. All right. You shoot 3 magic missiles, or you shoot your magic missiles into this like gelatinous cube, and it just absorbs them. Psh, psh, psh. But you do you definitely damage it.
And then she's gonna take a step back.
Just in
Where-
case.
Wait a minute, what happened to my turn?
What? Oh, what did you roll? Yeah, what did you roll? Sorry.
I rolled a 17.
Okay, so you can go
I was
next.
like,
sorry.
wait a minute, I'm not on there.
Yeah, I didn't realize you weren't on there. Hold on. I'll add you. Okay. Okay, so Lina, if you take a step back, you're going to take an attack of opportunity from the cube.
But Sizzler and Roberto are in the way.
Okay, they didn't move out of the attack range of the cube, though. They stayed where they were.
Right, they're blocking it. There's
Mhm.
only one square, and she just kind of leaned over to see what it was.
Right, so you moved your face super close to the cube, and now you're trying to move your face super not close to the cube. You're either going to take a cube smack, or you need to leave your face close to it.
Don't take the cube smack.
I vote you that you take the cube smack, by the way.
I'm sure you do.
It has sharp
She hasn't been able
corners.
to do anything. Like,
All right, what's it going to be? Pick your poison.
I'm thinking. Hold on.
Cube smack?
No, okay, so if she's gonna take an attack of opportunity, then she's gonna do quicken spell again and cast another magic missile at it.
Okay. All right. Another magic missile. You boom, 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 shoot it into the cube.
I like the sound effects.
Okay.
All right, you moving your face away or no?
Nope.
Okay, give me a roll for wild magic, and then Alden, it's your turn. All right, Alden.
All right, I'm going to cast spiritual.
First, I need a perception roll.
I am going to roll a perception roll.
Yep. Okay, so you don't need to put your face next to this cube. You see it. You see exactly what Sizzler's talking about.
Blah. It's a jiggly cube. Clearly, that's a threat to us.
You hear it like, blah, 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 I'm not a threat. Blah, blah, blah.
Well, I'm convinced. All right. I'm going to cast Spiritual Weapon.
You hear the cube go like, Alden, why would you do that? Blah, 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 blah. I thought we were friends. Blah, blah, blah.
So I whisper, I'm sorry, they can never know. And then I form a spiritual mace.
Okay.
And I hit him with said spiritual mace.
All
That's
right.
a action, by the way.
Let's
to do that.
It's a what? Bonus action?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, good lord. Yeah, that definitely hits.
All right, and then to do damage, I rolled a 19.
Yeah, click the word spiritual weapon in the chat.
Oh. Yes, level 2.
There you go. 4.
That's rough, buddy.
You tickle your pet ooze with your spiritual weapon.
All right. Well, that was my bonus action. And then
Is the creation of your spiritual weapon a bonus action, or the attack with?
Both.
The attack is a bonus.
Is there a way for me to link that? Let me see what happened. I think I tried this last time, but
yeah, let's see. I'll just Google it. But I could see a situation where you're correct.
So create flow special action with range to last for the duration until you cast a spell again. When you cast a spell, you make a melee spell attack against a creature within 5 feet of the weapon. On a hit, the target takes force damage equal to 1d8 plus your spellcaster modifier. So it's when you cast a spell, the casting time is 1 bonus action. So that's why it's a bonus action to do the attack.
Okay, sure.
All right, and my other action.
That seems super strong.
It's pretty.
All right, so what are you gonna do for your action?
You know, we're just gonna do.
What is the spiritual weapon, by the way? Describe it.
It's a mace.
Okay.
It's a beautiful, light-brimmed mace. I don't want to waste too many spell slots, so I'm just going to do Sacred Flame.
All right.
Good luck with your dex save,
yes.
giant ooze.
Watch this save. Oh god. Okay, never mind. All right. So you light.
You got pretty close.
Yeah, seriously. So this ooze, like the sacred flame, just goes like blunk, blunk, like into. There's like a small flame, a small radiant flame inside the ooze. Yeah, there's just like small bubbles are like escaping the ooze from the sacred flame.
I say that probably did something to you.
He said, you just hear him like,
guys, are we even doing anything here?
Alden, why would you do this to me? Blah 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 blah.
Don't listen to him, everybody. I don't know him.
You're my creator. Blah 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 blah. All right, Ulfgar.
Do I got to roll perception?
Yes, you do. You see the ooze appear before you. Alden's sacred flame helped.
I'm going to stab it with the Vape-Nash curse sword.
All right. All of a sudden, you all see Ulfgar appear as if out of thin air, swinging the Vape-Nash sword. He smashes it. He smashes the light blue glowing sword into the ooze. Wow, for 15 damage.
It doesn't seem right. Wait, what do crits do in this game?
I could just get the shovel, stab it in, and start scooping things out.
You re-roll it again. That's what it. So you re-roll the damage die again, and so he just got a 4 on the second one. Okay. Anything else, Ulfgar?
Oh, I see. You got a 3 on the second one plus strength. Yeah.
Nothing else?
Nope.
All right, Roberto, what are you gonna do? You can't swallow this thing.
I'm gonna bite it.
Okay.
I mean, he probably could. I mean, he did eat those 2 horses on the ship.
All right, 14 hits. Let's get damage. Good lord, this Roberto, like the frickin'
MVP Roberto.
Seriously, he's so strong. All
He's
right.
squishy as fuck, though.
Yeah. Okay. Good lord.
It's evidenced by his dragon one-shotting a couple
That
weeks
is,
ago.
yeah, also true. Okay, so yeah, you take a chunk out of this ooze. Roberto. Cube's turn. All right, he's gonna try to not be grappled. Okay, so he meets, so he beats. So Roberto just like gobbles up a bit of this ooze thing, and it just like seems to shake Roberto off. And then the first thing it's going to try to do is move forward, since all of you are totally stacked up. So I'm going to need Roberto, Sizzler, Ulfgar, and Lina to make a dexterity saving throw.
Yeah, suck it, losers.
Oh, this is going great so far. What was the second? Oh, the first one. Okay.
Lina's using Tides of Chaos.
All right, you give me that roll. All right, Ulfgar. Oh, Ulfgar left. Okay, so what? Let's see, who are we on so far? Okay, so just you're not on? Are you still on the back of?
Yes.
Okay, so you hop off. You get like forcibly pushed off of the back of Roberto, and Lina and Sizzler. You get like pushed back by the oozes that hops forward once, so you're pushed back 5 feet, and the cube like engulfs Roberto and potentially Ulfgar.
Did Ulfgar get hit? Sorry.
Oh, Ulfgar, yeah, I need you to roll a dex save. Okay, so Ulfgar and Roberto now find themselves inside of the giant cube.
Yes. So where I've always wanted.
Okay, so let's see. I can just roll. All right. Roberto and Ulfgar take 9 damage.
Owie.
9 acid damage, and you are engulfed. For the record, an engulfed creature cannot breathe, is restrained, and takes damage at the start of each of the cube's turns. When the cube moves, the engulfed creature moves with it. An engulfed creature can try to escape by using an action to make a strength check, DC 12.
Okay.
On a successful strength check, the engulfed creature escapes and enters a space of its choice within 5 feet of the cube. Okay, so John, can you note that Roberto takes 9 damage, Ulfgar takes 9 damage, and now the cube is going to try to slap attack Lina. It's going to get its slap attack.
With what? It's a cube.
Lina, does a 24 hit?
It's called a pseudopod.
All right, you take 23 acid damage.
That's rough.
You just hear it say, cube slap. I'm just kidding. It
Cube.
Is this a Pokemon too?
Cube. It actually, no, the cube actually doesn't have any language. It doesn't even have cube language. Nothing. So it doesn't, but for our purposes, Lina, for some reason you hear
like
it.
A Murloc from
Yeah, it's like a Murloc.
Cube.
All right, Sizzler, it's your turn. You just got pushed off of the back of Roberto, and now you're looking at this giant cube that has both Roberto and Ulfgar engulfed.
Okay. I will pass it in its face. Does it have a face?
No, there's no face on the cube. It's just a cube.
I reach out and shape a face out of its jelliness.
Make a sleight of hand check. Okay, yeah, you like make a. What kind of a face? Are gonna like a happy face or like just something else?
Like a brows furrowed, angry face.
Sure,
Like a
yeah.
generic, like children's monster face.
Yeah, it's very generic and basic, but you certainly shape it.
And then I'll throw acid in it.
All right. Here we go. This is where I crit the deck save. I do not. That is not true.
Wrong way.
Wrong crit. Oh well, close enough. Okay, yeah. So it takes 12 acid damage.
And I'll stick a sickle in its fake gelatinous face. Eyeball.
All right. A hit, yeah, that hits. An 8 hits.
Oh wow. Okay.
It's too big to dodge. And you slash through this gelatinous cube, Sizzler, and it's like you cut through this like layer of cube, and then just like weird like ooze just starts to pour out of it, and the like where you slashed, just that piece of it just slides off next to you, and like Roberto slides out with all the like goop, and Ulfgar's head is like just poking out. He's like, oh, he takes a deep breath.
I have seen things you do not.
But you're covered with anyone. Lina and Sizzler are covered in ooze goop.
Does this mean it died?
Roll a nature check. Yes, the cube is dead.
Okay.
Thank goodness.
Do we help Ulfgar out of there, or do we think he's comfortable?
Roberto's still in here too.
No, Roberto slid out.
How does Ulfgar look?
It's like the closest. It's the closest thing to like a live, like full size birth you've ever seen. It's like this huge mechanical toad that like takes up basically the entire room, slides out of this like giant cube. There's just goop everywhere.
Can I roll a perception check on how he feels being in there?
Yes. Yeah, he has a creepy. Ulfgar has a creepy smile on his face.
I say we even be.
No, I refuse to click on that, Lina, but I know exactly what link it is.
Oh yeah.
It says
I'm
it's a
so
shirt.
curious.
Oh man, that's classic.
Oh, what the fuck?
It is
It
classic.
is a shirt.
I haven't seen this picture.
I know, 100 years. It's crazy. All right. You have murdered the goop cube.
Well.
Can we sift through its goopiness to see if it absorbed anybody else, or?
Yeah, there are. Roll me an investigation. So there are just some bones, and it's certainly scooped up some things. You also notice some general dust and debris like amongst the goop. So you imagine that like that was the reason why everything was so clean. That like this cube like would bounce and like slide along the floors and just clean essentially everything up. Roll me a, let's see, you got a 12. Is anyone else investigating?
I got a 10.
Lina will.
Okay.
So this is like the D&D Roomba.
Yes, exactly.
Damn it.
You're holding intimidation.
Good lord.
Okay. You scared its corpse into giving you loot.
Let's see.
Even in death, he fears me.
Lina's gonna cast Prestidigitation to clean everyone up, and then she's gonna cast it to clean up the ooze thing from the floor and basically make it go away.
Okay, Sizzler, you sift through this goop, and you see one wheel of Swiss cheese.
In what condition is the cheese?
Do you want to take a bite out of it?
No.
I do.
Roll a perception check.
Wolfgar is so hungry.
The cheese looks immaculate. It doesn't even look covered in goop to you.
Anybody want some immaculate cheese?
It's just like literally a whole wheel of cheese, like a 3-foot wide wheel of cheese.
Wolfgar is gonna.
Me, it looks like it just came fresh from a larder. Anybody want it?
I'm raising my hand and jumping up and down.
I'll toss him like football style. Go long, Ulfgar! I'll wait until he starts running down the hallway.
Okay, Ulfgar, roll a deck save.
A deck save?
Yeah.
No, I always fail these.
Okay, yes. I mean, you catch the ooze.
Toss.
Yeah, you catch the wheel reasonably well, but then like ooze splatters all over your face.
I don't care at this point.
It's like it's all in like the holes of the Swiss cheese too. Like it's just like there's
it's a
ooze.
Swiss cheese.
Yeah, there's ooze goop
that
like
makes it even better.
in all the holes of the Swiss sort of portion of the cheese.
I want to eat this cheese.
You're gonna eat the goopy Swiss cheese?
I want to eat the cheese.
All right.
I've had rat wine.
Make a Constitution save. Okay, cheese is delicious.
Yeah. I have the belly of a ocean.
All right, so just add Ulfgar, add to your inventory like 4/5 of a Swiss cheese.
Oh, I thought the whole cheese would be gone.
Oh, I mean, if you want to eat the whole thing, you can eat the whole thing. But if you just want to eat a chunk out of it, then you can keep it.
Do you have a bag yet?
No, I don't have a bag, so I have
just
to
gonna he's just gonna
strap under his armpit.
strap a wheel of cheese to his back.
pick up a flap and just stick it in.
naked fat dwarf walking around with like a loincloth, a sword, a shovel.
I'm gonna put it on the shovel and carry it around.
Swiss cheese strapped to his back. Quite a sight. And a Vapenage sword. Okay, what do you guys want to do?
Before we move on, I did notice the attacks that Lina and Ulfgar took from the cube monster, so I'll toss them each a healing draught. So
okay.
This first one will be for Lina, and then one for Ulfgar.
Thank you.
You sure are saving me a lot of effort.
Your toad also. Oh, you can't heal the toad.
Cannot. Yeah.
All right, so I'll give you guys a little. There's nothing there. There's nothing at the end of these tunnels. It looks like the tunnels just were meant to be continued, if you will, but just didn't. I mean, it's just sort of like dead ends, not into a flat intentional wall, but into like a dug out sort of area, meaning that perhaps the tunnel's meant to be continued, but they just someone hadn't gotten to it yet.
Well, I also took an attack, so I'll hit myself too.
All right.
I haven't been hit this whole time.
I wonder why, Alden. I wonder why none of your creations are trying to attack you. So strange.
You think that some of them would be mad that I'm just leaving them down here. I don't feed any of them very well.
Except for with adventurers who pass by. Oh, wait. Sorry, I shouldn't say. Okay.
Yes, you're ruining the surprise.
Oh, no. I need to stop ruining the surprise. Okay, what would you guys like to do? You want to follow around to continue with
this door?
Yeah, okay.
Pew!
Sure. Pew, pew.
That's a big jump.
Okay, I'm going to need a perception check from everyone. All right.
Man.
Crushed it. So as you pass Sizzler, we'll give it to you. As you pass through that area, you notice in the alcove there is Carved into the back wall of the alcove is a shallow niche containing a bas-relief sculpture of a nude, heavy-set man playing a harp. It looks sort of similar to Ulfgar, but he's playing a harp and he's straight up nude.
Like Ulfgar
Brother.
usually is.
Yeah, it's Ulfgar's brother, Urfgar. And it's Ulfgar's bard brother, Urfgar. And you also notice as you get closer to the sculpture, you notice that lying on the floor is a broken, like a pole that seems to be broken in half. It's approximately 10 feet long, the pole.
Pole. Does it look like it goes anywhere in this alcove? What kind of pole are we talking about?
No, the pole, you rolled really well in your perception. The pole seems really out of place.
Can I mend it?
You cannot. The other half of the pole does not. You don't see it. It just looks like.
Oh, there's no two halves. It's just one half.
Correct. Yeah, but you could tell that it was like the way that it's cut off. You could tell that it used to be something else, but you also notice that the cut is very so clean. It's not like someone snapped this pole in half. It's like a very efficient, very
What material is the pole?
accurate. It's wood.
Okay. So it's probably not a weapon handle, but maybe it's the end of a mop or something.
Hard to say.
Well, I mean, the janitor's been by here, so.
Does anyone want to? If anyone wants to investigate the statue, you may do so.
I mean, I'm here. I might as well.
Boop, boop. Okay, so anyone who rolled higher than a 10 in investigation and decided to investigate, so everyone. Oh, well, even Ulfgar. Oof, okay. You notice that the carved into the body of the harp, in common is written, "Gaze upon me with bronzed visage, and secrets I shall reveal."
The visage, what does that mean?
Bronzed visage. Vision besides Roberto.
Say it again.
Asking if anyone has dark vision.
I do.
If you have dark vision?
Yeah.
Does it do anything when you look at it?
Oh, roll perception.
Ulfgar, nothing. You don't notice anything out of the ordinary.
Not that I can tell.
I wonder what bronzed vision means.
Is it visage or
visage with a G?
Oh, yeah. Visage.
Yeah.
So it needs like
have a bronze face.
It's like a talisman or something.
This is a racist thing, isn't it?
Hurry! Someone paint their face black. That might do it.
Oh,
and by do it, I mean get us kicked off of Twitch.
Yeah, exactly.
Does anyone have a tanning bed?
Yeah. No?
Well, we've got.
What's the visage mean?
Visage.
It's like a face. I think, at least in this context, it means a face.
Lina will cast prestidigitation to make her face mask bronze looking.
Or it could mean an item.
I mean, her face is bronze now.
Roll an investigation, Lina. You don't notice any change.
All right, well that's interesting. So I'm gonna put this half of a wooden pole in my bag of holding.
Okay.
Place. Maybe we'll figure out what this is later.
All right.
I would like to try something as well.
Okay, Alden, what are you gonna do?
Oops, that's the wrong thing. There we go. I want my eyes to glow like a bronze-like color.
Okay, roll an investigation. Okay, Alden, as your eyes glow bronze, you notice that while nothing changes per se for you outright, you notice that like the area where the statue is, like some mist starts to appear. Like a very faint mist surrounds the statue.
Does it look like it's coming from anywhere, like one area in particular, or is it just misty?
No, it looks like there's it's not just like generally misty, but there's a mist like outline around the statue, like sort of in a large oval shape. Like that goes like around the statue.
I want to try to touch the oval.
Okay. When you try to touch the oval, like nothing happened. You'd imagine what you did is not enough. There's something else.
I go to.
But you're on like the like you're sort of doing a portion of it correctly.
Sizzler.
Yes.
Did you get the where's the pole?
It's in my bag. Why? What's up?
Give
You
me
want a
the
pole?
Yes.
You're asking me to give you the pole.
Yes.
I reach into my bag and I will pull out the pole.
Okay.
So first I'm gonna try to poke the ring with the staff or with the pole.
Okay, Alden, you when you reach out and touch the statue with the pole, this behind the mist, you see the statue's face. Like you notice it now, and you're you notice that the statue's face is bronze. That it looks like the statue is wearing a bronze mask. And then you take the pole off of the statue, and it's still wearing the bronze mask. And then you touch it again, and it's still wearing the bronze mask. And you take it off again, and it's still wearing the bronze masks. And it dawns on you that you're not sure if that was because you touched it, or if it was always wearing the bronze mask. But you notice now that the statue is wearing a bronze mask. And just like metagaming, it was always wearing the bronze mask. But only to you. No one else can see it.
You guys, so they can't see it now?
Correct.
Okay. I go, what does that thing say? I know it said gaze upon me.
With a bronze visage, and secrets I shall reveal.
Okay. I'm gonna go to Lina and say, look at that mask with your bronze mask again.
Look with your special eyes.
Look with your bronze mask.
So Lina, you poke it with the stick, similar to what Alden did, and you don't see what Alden sees.
I swear the mask is bronze. So the statue itself, you said he's got a lute in his hand, or is he playing a lute?
It's a harp. But yes.
Is it in his hand, or is he playing the harp?
He's playing the harp.
So both of his hands are occupied.
Correct.
Is there any way I can sort of like give him the stick? Is there like a good place, like maybe put it like in his arm?
Alden, you get the idea, just so that you guys don't spend a ton of time here, that you don't have the thing that you need to make this work.
Okay. I want to touch the mask.
We would have been here a while if you didn't say that.
I don't want you guys to spend the rest of the night here. Yeah, you're on the right track, but there's something that you're missing to make this work.
Way to gently say you're being an idiot and just move on.
No, I mean he wasn't being an idiot. I was trying to do it.
Want him to beat his head against the wall.
I was trying to do it gently to like give him a hint that like he needs something else, and but I don't want you guys to get hung up on this because you definitely do not have the thing that you need to make it happen.
One last thing.
Alden,
does anything happen if I touch his mask?
Yes, Alden, the statue, like, you get transported to a different plane where it's just you and the statue speaks to you, and it says, Alden, you need a bronze mask that you haven't found yet to get through this. And then you, like, all of a sudden you warp back, and you're like, whoa, that was crazy.
How the hell can he go to a plane but Lina can't? She's gonna have questions.
Lina, you don't see this. Lina, you don't see this. Alden doesn't actually disappear. It's just like his mind. You know, it's like one of those things where like you blink. You know, one of those like movies where like you blink
like
and it's
like Ace Ventura.
Yeah, it's just blackness everywhere, and Alden sees him and the statue. What was it? Urfgar.
Yeah,
and Urfgar's like playing this beautiful harp music, and he just says like, Alden, you need a bronze mask that you haven't found yet in order to make this work. And then like, but Alden, when you're watching him, Lina, like he doesn't move. He just looks like entranced by the nude statue in front of him.
I say, very cryptic. I wonder what that means, and move on.
Okay, so you guys are at the door. You open the door?
Yes.
Plates everywhere. Lina takes 10 attacks. I'm just kidding. Yep, there's another hallway, north and south.
My goodness. Ulfgar's feet are getting sore.
Right? They should just call this whole place Hallway City.
Hallway City. That's, believe it or not, that is actually what it's called.
No, it's not.
Well, that's good, because it's an accurate name. Alright. Yeah, let's go down here.
All right.
Knock, knock.
Open sesame.
The door swings open at your command.
It's a magic door.
I use, I don't even know how to pronounce that. Thaumaturgy. I use it to open the door.
The door swings open.
I go, that's pretty neat, right?
Okay, so you see, as you open the door, a 30-foot wide floor-to-ceiling map is carved into the west wall. In the middle of the room, there's a 10-foot square open pit.
Not a pit.
Everyone roll perception for me. Okay, Lina, so anyone who rolled above a 15, so everyone but Alden, you hear something moving in the pit. Like you can hear some movement inside of the pit.
God, it's the Sarlacc.
It's not a small creature. Since you all rolled actually really well on your perceptions, as you start to like walk around the room you haven't looked in the pit yet, but as you start to walk around the room, you notice that the map is this super elaborate image that's a cross section of like I don't know, this huge labyrinth that has like all of these different like 3D levels to it. Each like level has its own sort of like stylized side view, but there aren't any names or details to suggest like what each one could be.
What does any of that mean?
Basically, you're like standing in front of this super elaborate map.
Okay, so it's a
Is it
3D
a-
map on a 2D surface, and
Yeah,
we don't
correct.
know.
Yeah.
Okay,
Is it a map
you're
this place?
depicting 3 different locations, and we're not sure what they are.
No, it's depicting. You can't tell what it's depicting, I guess, but it's not 3 locations. I mean, there are like 23 stacks essentially.
How's it? Is it painted? Is it a tapestry?
No, it's like carved into the wall.
How many halls are in it?
A lot of halls.
It's this place.
It even in like very Alden, you squint your eyes real close to it, and like in very small letters at the top of it, it says like Dungeon of Halls.
I knew it.
And then like Lina, you squint your eyes, and under it says created by Alden.
Don't pay attention to that. I'll like take my mace and I just sort of like start chucking at it.
Bashing the name.
Artist, am I right, guys?
So looking at all of these, do we notice any sort of pattern to them at all?
There actually, that's a very good question. Says Laura, you actually notice that there isn't a pattern, that each of these sections is like a different color, kind of, and they all look like very different from one another.
So Ivaris is here in spirit, and I'm sure he would have made a replica of this map in his
Sure.
book.
That's fair. Okay,
I'm
so
sure Lina would have drawn dicks on it.
Yeah.
Probably.
Roll a
That'd be
sleight of
pretty
hand
funny.
for dicks. All right, so someone roll. Anyone who wants. Okay, the dicks. It's bad. It actually doesn't look like a dick at all. It looks like a reindeer. Lina draws a reindeer on the map. Okay, the pit. Anyone want to look over the edge of the pit?
Yes.
I do, even though
I will
never
peek
heard
my
the
little
sound
head
coming
over.
from.
Okay, so when you peek your head over the pit, it looks like it's like there's rubble on the bottom, but the walls of the pit are like incredibly smooth stone, like polished smooth stone, and it almost looks like sounds strange, Sizzler, but it almost looks like one piece of smooth stone that like is a circle that is set down into the ground, and approximately 10 feet down there is rubble at the bottom. So it looks like maybe eventually, like prior, it was probably deeper, but it's filled with rubble at the bottom. Yes, it's filled with Barney rubble, in fact, at the bottom.
But do I see what's moving around down there that was making the noise?
You see a body.
The body's moving?
The body's moving.
What kind of body is it?
It's Barney Rubble.
You can't quite tell from the angle that you're standing at, but it's sort of like a body that's like slowly like meandering like around this rubble and like kind of bouncing off the wall, not like bouncing off the walls, but like bumping into the walls slightly and just like continuing to move like slowly like around the circle, like with seemingly without much intention.
Is this like if I popped up and looked at it better, would I see it better, or does it need light on it, or because it's only 10 feet down? You said, right?
Yes.
Well, I'll look, I guess. Lean further over.
So it sort of looks like a half elf, to your surprise.
I thought it was going to be Zambo.
Hey, buddy, are you all right?
Like the face slowly tilts up toward you, Lina, and you notice that like there's a gash, like a deep gash in its head. And he says like, "Hello."
That looks painful.
I say hi.
Do you want an Advil?
"Oh yeah, that hurt." And he like reaches his hand up, like
Bruce
seemingly for aid. He says, "Can you let me out of here? I've got some business to attend to."
What business could that be?
Murdering my former party.
That doesn't sound very noble. What'd your party do to you, friend?
And then he like put the hand that he was reaching out into the air, he puts it down against his face and like wipes like chunks of dried blood out of this huge gash on his face. And he says, he like looks at it and he looks up at you and he was like, "They killed me 3 days ago."
Why'd they
You're
do
killed
that?
by your own party?
He like looks at you confused that you both asked the question at the same time. And and then he's like, "I'm not sure, but I'll tell you what, they're not going to live long enough to tell me." He said, "Come on, help me out of this pit."
So
Wait,
why aren't you actually dead?
Are you dead?
we
Alden,
haven't seen anyone.
Alden, you can tell that he, like from what he's wearing, you can tell that he's a cleric, or at least he was a cleric when he was alive. And so you know that like clerics have some weird have like some weird interaction with life and death.
Is there a symbol or some sort of marking that shows who his deity was?
No, his holy symbol is notably absent.
I say to him, it looks like you are also a follower of the faith. Who do you follow, friend?
He like looks up at you, sort of like tilts his head to the side, and he says, "I only follow one like deity now. That's death. Help me out of here. Come on."
I don't know how I feel about this.
And he says like, I have no ill will toward you all. You seem like very fine people. Help me find and kill my former adventuring party. And I'll give you anything that they're carrying with them.
Can Lina tell if he's lying?
Yeah, roll insight. No, he seems from what you can tell, he seems to be telling the truth.
Why shouldn't we just help your party kill you?
And then he like chuckles for a minute. He's like, "Come on, a cleric like you should know. I've been dead for 3 days." Come on, I can't climb out of this pit on my own. Are you going to help me or not?
How did you come to be put into the pit?
They beat the shit out of me and threw me into this pit.
Did you do something in particular to upset them?
Of course not. Now, help me out of this pit and help me locate my friends.
Hey,
I would
were
like
your
to insight
friends
that, of course not.
about 10 in number?
Nope. There's just 3 of them. I was the 4th.
Fuck
do
it.
like a group
Lina gives
huddle.
him a hand.
All right.
All right.
Wait.
He pops out of the pit and he like dusts
Oh,
himself off.
How is she helping him out of the
I don't know.
10-foot pit?
I thought you said you leaned over and helped him out of the pit.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. So, yeah.
It's 10 feet. It's 10 feet deep. How is she doing
Right.
that?
Because he's like
She reaches an arm down and he reaches
yeah,
one
he's
up.
a half health, so it's not like he's like super short or anything. So he's probably like 5 or 6 feet
Okay,
tall.
well, I'm gonna pull Lina's legs so that she can't dangle her arms down to help him.
All right. So Lina, you reach down to try to help him up, and you just feel Sizzler like pulling on your legs back.
Sizzler, what are you doing?
Why would you help this clearly dead cleric out of that pit? I don't see any good that can come out of that.
Lina, what your hands like are dangling over the edge, and your head turned looking back at Sizzler, like you feel him like jumping and like trying to grab your hands, not in like a aggressive or like angry way, but like he thinks that you're trying to help him, but he just can't reach.
Why not?
Because
What do you mean, why not? You tell me what good can come of getting this dead person with a gaping head wound out of this pit.
you just hear like mumbling in the background, like I can't reach, guys, come on.
Why not? I mean, what's he gonna do? He's just gonna stay there and he's gonna get angrier and angrier and angrier. And I'm sure dead people, when they're super angry and they're living when they're not supposed to be living, just get stronger the longer that they get angrier and more dead.
But he clearly can't get out of there.
That works.
He clearly can't get out of there. So there's nothing bad that can happen while he's down there. There are definitely bad things that can happen when he's out of the pit.
He's like, come on, guys, if you help me, come on, help me out of this pit.
I mean, he seems earnest enough.
It's earnest for death and revenge.
Not against you guys. I against my former party. Come on, help me out of the pit.
Doesn't have his holy symbol on him. I'm sure he did something for his party members, his own party members, to kill him and throw him down this pit.
So, Lina, you feel him like stop jumping for a second, and then he calls up to Alden. He's like, Alden, what? Or he doesn't say Alden, obviously, because doesn't. Or maybe he does. No, but he says
You're
like
not one of my evil followers.
He says like, hey, Cleric, what deity do you follow?
Why, good sir, I follow the teachings of Mishakal.
Mishakal, huh?
Good.
Pretty great.
I mean, mediocre. I used to follow you. I used to follow Joaquin before I got killed. Now I only have one god. Now help me out of this pit so I can
spell that.
Help me out of this pit so I can finally rest in peace.
I'm trying to find who that is, but I don't know how to spell.
Waukeen.
Oh, I know all about Joaquin. That doesn't make me trust you more. That makes me trust you less.
Who is this Joaquin fella?
He's a trickster. And also, for merchants, but also for smugglers and, people who like to fence and do stuff on the black market.
He said, no. I was a merchant. You don't have to worry about that. Now let me out of this pit.
Yeah, it's really shady.
Lina, even before he was dead, he was shady.
I'm not shady.
All right. I think we can come to an agreement here. We get him out of this pit and keep an eye on him while we help him track down his party. And from there, we'll see who is in the right and who is in the wrong.
And he says, like, I might be able to help you.
I don't see how.
He's like, well,
why were you here?
He's like, I know some secrets.
Why were you here?
We were adventuring. What do you mean? Why are you here?
Why did you come here?
Well, we were staying at a beautiful cabin. We rented it with an Airbnb. And then when we were looking around one afternoon, just taking a hike, we discovered a waterfall that led down a hole, and
That was a pretty
we're
good
like,
waterfall.
we're like, oh, this is a dope waterfall, and so we went down, and then we're like, oh, an adventure. We're looking for gold and other things to sell, obviously. The same thing you're probably doing down here.
Did you run into any vampires down here?
Maybe. Let me out of this pit.
Can you kill vampires?
I can kill anything. And he's like, I'm already dead. And he flexes his muscle.
That's not
Yeah,
a good
I like-
argument. But I also think we should just get him out of this pit.
Lina extends her hand
I still
back.
think we should leave him down there.
He just goes
If
like,
we
Lina, he jumps and you feel his hand like embrace yours. Again, not in like an aggressive, attacky way, in like he thinks you're trying to help him kind of way.
Yep, she pulls him up.
All right, he flies up.
oh, before he gets out of the pit, I'm gonna pour acid on his head.
What? All right, Lina, I'll do this. Lina, you make a deck save to see if you can help him avoid the acid if you want to. And Sizzler, make your acid, and if Lina's got to beat your DC for acid.
To be fair, Sizzler, I'm pretty good at dealing with the undead.
Me too. I melt them.
All right, Lina, make a deck save. Oh, okay. So Sizzler, you just pour acid on this poor, defenseless, undead, dead cleric, and he just starts screaming at the bottom of the pit. Ah! Ah! I thought you were gonna help me.
Sizzler,
Don't
that
help
was
zombies.
rude.
That's very rude.
He turns his head and like looks back up at you, and like half of his face is burned off now. There's still you still see the huge gash in his head from like where he was beaten to death before. And his eyes, like, I mean, they're not actually on fire, but like he's staring daggers like up at Sizzler.
Lina's gonna send a message to Alden and Sizzler telepathically and be like, hey, Sizzler just made a new enemy for us. We should probably just kill this dude now.
Yes.
How
Well,
do
I
you,
can't do anything to help him with his acid problem.
like, how do you kill the undead?
Just pour more acid on.
I mean, we could just keep him in the pit. I don't think anybody else is coming around to save him.
I don't know, it's kind of fucked up.
Well, Sizzler was very rude to him, so now he probably doesn't like us.
But isn't like killing him like an act of mercy now, and you have like cleric powers against undead, so just make him not undead?
Well, I can make him really scared. That's kind of the shtick. I mean, I don't. Maybe he'll still let us help us, or help him. Maybe. Well, first of all, we need to figure this out. Okay, we got two people who want to help him. We got one person who doesn't want to help him.
Yeah, but
Ulfgar still
now
here?
he's just
Where's
like
Ulfgar?
No, Ulfgar left. He had to go for them.
Oh, okay.
his face is melting, and it's probably gonna melt forever.
Well, that's just gonna make him ugly, and he doesn't care. He's undead. He's a freak either way. Horrible
I'm
abomination.
Scissor's curious now, so he's gonna pour some more acid on the zombie.
All right, I guess we could just deal with it that way.
He starts melting a little bit, but he's still screaming like this. This otherworldly howl starts like just echoing out of the chamber through the open door that you've already left. Just this like insane, like ear-piercing, otherworldly howl. and he just, and between like his howls, you just hear he's like just hissing at you, like, I was gonna help you.
I feel like this was worse than bringing him out of the.
He's just like he keeps saying like, I was gonna help you, like in between like his screams of pain.
Yeah, I don't see how this is worse than him coming out of the pit and murdering us all.
No, he says like, I was definitely not going to murder you. I was actually going to help you.
I don't trust you.
You don't even need to roll
That's
an
not
insight.
usually what a lot of people do.
You don't even need to roll an insight, Alden, to know that he's definitely telling the truth. He was absolutely 100% going to help you.
Yeah, he was totally gonna help
not
us.
to metagame at
Alden,
all.
you, because you have a cleric connection with this poor undead gentleman that's now scalding, you just know that he was definitely going to help you.
Can I do like a religion check to see if there's anything I can do to help this poor?
Sure.
I don't know if that would be covering things I can do with the undead.
Sure.
I
What?
can't heal them.
Yeah. What like spells do you have?
I don't
Let's
know
look at your.
that I have anything that helps. Anything that's red marked is stuff that I don't have right now.
All right.
But that's only for my level 3s. I haven't changed anything else. I don't think I have anything that can really help him.
Wait, the stuff that you have is red, or the stuff that you don't have?
The stuff that I don't have anymore is red.
Okay, let's see.
Because I don't think I can do anything for this fool right now.
Interesting. Yeah, there might be something you can do. Let's do this. Well, let's end this session here, and we can pick back up next week. And
Man,
we can
everybody's going to be in for a surprise when they come back.
we can look and see what your options are in the meantime, and then we can pick back up right then with maybe what you can do. We can talk about what you can do.
Hey guys, it's been 2 weeks since you played. Oh, by the way, Sizzler just poured a bunch of acid on this undead guy who's screaming at the top of his lungs. And
All right. Well, good session. Good night, guys.
Night.
Yeah.